Alright guys, we're live again, probably for a short second. Here's your Easter egg for today. This is a battle theme. I have a rough idea for a battle theme. I just have it on guitar. One day I'm going to produce it for either Messy Mansion or something, I don't know. Right now it's just an idea, so I'm going to share this idea with you and hopefully video watchers enjoy. And that's the idea for a battle theme that I haven't started yet. So that's your Easter egg. I'm surprised there's even people here, guys. What's up, Priyansa and Samurai? That's kind of crazy, dude. Usually it's like empty for a little bit before we get started. So are y'all gonna do that thing where we aren't allowed to ask dumb questions? Nah, it's fine. I was joking about that, if I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just a meme. We're not gonna actually ban people for doing that. This is just purely a meme, a goof. But hopefully the commands make life a lot easier for people. So we don't have to keep answering redundant questions, which started happening very quickly. We just have the commands. We just get to say, hey, look at the commands, press help. And it seems to be working. Now that being said, I don't want to stick with using, I don't want to be stuck using the Nightbot. So I've actually been looking at didn't mean to start recording. Let me stop recording real quick. I've been actually looking at a new project, or starting a new project, because why not? If I could find it. Yeah, and I'm just looking at using curl to do this, and I was looking at this, and it's a library, and we look at this, it sends a GET request to an endpoint, and it returns the response from it, so that's pretty sick. I already set up the basic stuff here, so I'm gonna be looking at maybe doing this either in C, C++, or maybe I'll do C# or a Unity project, but yeah, it's pretty simple actually. It's pretty straightforward how this works, which is pretty surprising. So if you can do a GET request and get responses from it, that's enough to interact with YouTube's API. I already made a whole key for it and everything. So we might start making this bot happen, and we might start making this. We might start doing some cool things with this interactive overlay. I've been thinking a bit about this interactive overlay that we talked about. Also, let me catch up and check. Yeah, the IBM is back. The IBM is back, baby. Also, what's up, Morgan? Because yeah, thank you guys for testing out thanks for testing out the commands. But yeah, the IBM's back. So y'all gonna do that thing where we're gonna no. How'd you guys make the Nightbot? No, my Nightbot's it's a application. It's like a service that exists already. I've used it before for Twitch, It's very easy. It doesn't require anything on my part besides making commands, but that's very easy to do. This is a separate thing. This is me saying, hey, I don't want to have Nightbot. I want to be able to spin up my own thing and have it be, I'm going to replace Nightbot with my own bot with the purpose of having it be integrated into my dynamic overlay. Which, speaking of which, I have some ideas for this dynamic overlay business that I've mentioned. Let me see if I can find. I guess we could just do Krita. We can just open up Krita, all the good stuff. And while Krita loads up, let's actually start doing some music stuff. So I'm going to give you some options. So we have the normal mixes. So we have a couple new mixes I have. Actually, one new mix and then one video. I need to start linking the music in my channel. I'm going to start doing that because it's not like I made everything. It belongs to other people. So I need to start. I feel the need to start crediting where due. Anyways, though, for the early people who are here, I'm going to give you a poll. It's cool. I have polls now. We have a fall VGM mix we can start with. Which I just burnt it right now. Like I literally just off the presses. Got it right here. Or there's this Windows 95 vibes. That's an ambient track. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys watch our starter track. And I'm just gonna start the poll just to see what you guys think. With how popular you've been, it's good to have Nightbot for now at least. Yeah, it's yeah, boys something success. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude. It's still weird to think that I'm popular. That's a very. I've been streaming since high school, dude. That's like what 2016, 2015, and now we're in 2025. That's like nearly a decade of like averaging around 4 viewers at best. Maybe I get rated, but yeah, that's kind of crazy, dude, to go from like a long period of that, which I'm not complaining about it. I was happy entertaining the very few people who would show up, but yeah, it's very odd to have so many eyes here. Also, guys, I did some more audio configuration, so if you dislike the audio, the mic, just let me know. Oh my goodness, it's split. Fall VGM is like 50-50%. Or did it win? Is it still going on? Oh, it's 2 votes, that's why. Either way, before we get to any development, I sure would like to pitch this. I may not pitch, because it's not like I'm on Shark Tank, but I have some ideas about this overlay situation. Because I'm considering, I need to do some more streams testing some different configurations. But I have been contemplating some stuff. And I almost feel tempted to start working on this, but there is some important work that needs to be done, so we must eat our vegetables, sadly. And oh my goodness, thank you, Linux. Actually, I'm not gonna blame Linux, that's on me. I should have just added a better config. I just need to add a better config for what we're doing. Yeah, I really should just memorize this already, but it's okay. No. Thank you. Copy. And then I should just be able to paste, and this just works. And if I move my tablet around. Oh, beautiful. Oh, joyous day. Oh, joyous day. Okay. Windows 95 beats up. What's up, Taiki? And what's up, Samir? Just doing a little deving right now. We're just going to be doing a little deving, but I just want to showcase an idea. Okay, so it seems like Windows 95 is in the lead. So I guess we're just gonna do that. So let me pull out my binder, because we do that. We do have a binder with the most wildest stuff. Like, we have robots, we have audiobooks from Scholastic Book Fairs that I got as a kid, and some PS2 games somewhere in here. But that's not what we're going for. We're going for this bad boy. Also, let me put the full mix in here. I really need to actually start marking these, because there's just a bunch of discs with no markings on them whatsoever. So I just have to remember that the order I put them in is the way they are. Okay. Binder set. Putting my track on. And we're going to get into some development. Let me also turn on my FM tracker. And pardon me as I turn on the radio and put this bad boy into FM and move it around. Sorry guys for that jump scare. Okay. And are we good? Are we happy? Please tell me we're happy. Okay. All right, I think we should be good, I think. All right. So if there's no complaints whatsoever, I think we're just going to get into development work. What on earth is going on here, Shodo? We're just getting started. We're setting up for the little wild ride we got going on. So let's talk about, can we talk about what I have in mind here? Let's talk about what I got in mind. So, this is from the lesson, the little shader lesson we did last stream. So we're going to just move that out of the way. And we're just going to talk about the agenda for tonight. Not trying to be too long tonight, but we're gonna have an agenda of sorts. I might have to put on a little hoodie because I feel a little tired. So I'm gonna continue shader rewrites to new cozy lighting system for the game. Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. Are you using? Look at the OS, it's working. The OS is working. The command's already working, dude. Of course, Latchland Stone. You'll love to see it, dude. It's kind of crazy. I can't believe we have some ding-dang commands going in this chat. I feel almost official. So we're going to keep doing the shader rework that we've been talking about. I also want to briefly just talk about some potential stream overlay changes. Maybe. After these shader changes, though, I want to start designing level 1. Or designing some levels in general. Maybe even some assets. I start whiteboxing level 1. Maybe even make a tutorial or make, I don't know, we're gonna figure it out. Either make level 1 a tutorial or, I don't know, have that happen in a different place. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Do you like socket programming at all? I'm actually looking into that. I found this great, because like I was like this, I want to make my own chatbot, right? And that's the thing that's gonna be happening. And I looked at curl, and that's cool. And I'm gonna use curl probably for this first iteration. However, I did find this really good article. Let me see if I can find it. Just 1 second. I think it's in my bookmarks actually. If I can find it. Where's my bookmarks? What is my bookmarks code per? Yeah, Beej's Guide to Network Programming. Yeah, I found this yesterday, and it's actually a really great read because like I understand about what TCP and UDP are, and just at a high level, like at a very, very high level. But this guy's article or guide has like a very in-depth discussion of like not using curl or anything. How do you actually interact with these? How do you write these protocols, and how'd you go about doing it? And it's pretty sick. So I'd like to, at some point, sit down and actually do that. Even if it's just for my own edification. Like for this project, it's not really, it's already kind of a thing that I'm just deciding to handle my own like bot thing, but this would be like another level on top of that. But I sure would like to look at this. Who is Beej? I don't know who Beej is. I just discovered him through Googling and Stack Overflow, and Beej.us has a great networking guide with actual like code and C and all that stuff. So it's pretty sick. Highly would recommend. Yeah, system calls or bust. Client server background, slightly advanced techniques. Really awesome stuff. So if this is of interest to you, I would highly recommend it. I mean, keep in mind, I'm some guy who doesn't know much about this, but this already has been very illuminating to me. So if you're also kind of want to get more information, this is just a helpful resource. Not sure if it helps, but the best resource for me was just looking at the protocol headers in Wireshark as packets came off the wire, then reading CSocket syscall man pages. That's actually, I wouldn't have considered using Wireshark to check out the headers, but that actually makes perfect sense to do that. So yeah, man, that'll be the next frontier. But yeah, that's gonna be part of the get good journey, because I feel very weak at networking, so we're gonna try to get good at that. Aside from that though, but yeah, I'm gonna start using curl first, go from there. We'll see what happens. Little by little, man. So yeah, white box level 1, and then potentially craft a tutorial or not. And this white boxing, I think we're gonna be doing a little bit of sketching today. Like this is gonna be code heavy. This is gonna be much more, I think we're gonna have to do some sketching, some drawing on paper or on Krita, just to get some ideas of how I want to design this level, because I want them to have a certain, the way I had it before was way too small. I think we want to actually have some significant progression where a level can take like, I mean, for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes to get through. So, but unlike a 2D game, I feel like 3D games kind of require, since there's much more possibility with space, we need to kind of constrain things, and I think having a nice concept is going to be very helpful in defining that. So yeah, that sounds to be the plan. But before we get into that, we still have to just get the shaders working. So let's just go back to ye old Unity Hub. Good old, I'm not gonna say faithful, but good old. They're not even good. It's just there. It's the thing we have to use. And let's just open up our project. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Levent, hey, just started using N8N or N8N. Any advice to get better on it? What's N8N? Then writing a TCP state machine with public post states and packet types. That's awesome, man. I'll have to check out your channel. As I'm the opposite. I know next to nothing about game dev nor graphics processing. Well, hey, perfect place. In fact, last stream I did a whole crash course, like an impromptu crash course. So maybe it's not the best quality, about shaders. Like how to use shaders, like the basic ideas of shaders, and how to write your own lighting model, like a very basic idea of lighting, or a basic implementation of lighting, without using any of Unity's lighting models. So surprisingly pretty simple. And I think, I mean, It's easy for me to say that, but I think it's pretty. Aside from the little hiccups that happened, I think it went pretty good. And we're just gonna take inventory of our game. Just take inventory of the game and go from there. Is this basically a suck list suite or just something similarly visual? Yeah, I'm just using i3. I haven't committed to doing the suck lists at all. I like the idea of suck lists, but haven't done that. Would like to one day. Or I'm not sure if I would like to. Probably. I'm kind of getting there. I like the idea of just modular programs that just do what they're supposed to. So I feel like I'm going to end up converging on a suck list program at some point. Or start a whole suck list thing, but we haven't gone there. So, what are we doing here? There's also the idea of sprucing up the hub world that we have going on. There's also other bugs we need to address at some point, but we'll deal with that later. I don't think we're gonna make the Discord prototype thing yet. I was aiming for this Sunday, but yeah, I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like the information I would get from that would be as valuable unless the game gets to a better state. So that's another thing. That's a critical thing I need to start architecting. So we need to start architecting item collection. I don't know. No, it's not a system, but just design. Let's just say design. Or module or something to that extent. V-message. Orochimaru, what did you send? What did you send that Nightbot banned you? But wait, why would Nightbot delete that? But yeah, I'm sorry, Orochimaru. I didn't mean for Nightbot to do you like that, man. My bad. Hi, what's up, Levent? Woohoo! Stop spamming caps. Oh, is it because of caps? Oh, I need to adjust Nightbot. About comp sci engineering from India and YouTube tutorials that I have in classes, bro. Yeah, that was me in college, dude. That was me in college. First time here, cool setup you have here. Thank you. Yahushua. D menu is popular and seems a natural fit to save time with singular monitor setups, but I get any way of doing it. Yeah, I'm not using D menu, but I don't know. Most of the stuff that comes with i3 as by itself is usually sufficient enough for me to do what I need to do. Ooh, I didn't mean to go into this level. Let's go back. Actually, no. These are not bugs. They actually work as intended. Okay, sick. The one thing I do need to fix is this transition because the fog is overriding it. So we need to make this not do that. And likely I'd like to integrate this fog into my general camera rendering pipeline, which I think I already started doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna do some additional code massaging. Let's just make a huge to-do. Consolidate, post-processing. Yeah, that's the thing we need to do. Is code with Harry. Why do you still use an old PC? It's not an old PC, dog. Maybe old peripherals, but not old PCs. With too much engagement, it's rooted sometimes. Yeah, I need to make Nightbot chill. Is the most useful Unity dev plugin? I wouldn't be really helpful to. You know what? I will say something. There is I don't think it's a plugin. It's a library, but the one I find very helpful is UniRX. Highly would recommend it. It's a very different. It's not just like a package or something, but much more like a different programming paradigm. It's like archived right now because they're making R3, which is another implementation of the same thing, but it should not, the way you interact with it, the APIs are going to be fundamentally the same. But basically it's just reactive extensions, not only for C# but specifically for Unity. So it has a lot of helpful things like this different way of handling asynchronous events. I believe it comes with Unitasks, which is also helpful for async.
There's a bunch of other things that are bundled that are very useful, like message brokers, message brokers, subjects, the whole observable stuff, different types of observables. It's very, very convenient for handling behaviors like this, and then it's also like more performant than IEnumerators. So yeah, it's a very convenient thing for dealing with async. Yeah, it's just a fundamentally different paradigm as well. There's certain types of problems that are easier to model using async versus doing it like a traditional way. So, or not async, using our reactive extensions than using it the normal way. There's actually a really nice article here. It is in the Unity Asset Store. Is it a package? I believe so.
Why is it why do I have an alarm?
Okay. Anyways, coroutines can return values, better at handling exceptions, and a bunch of other things. It's very cool. Here we go. Introduction to Reactive Programming. Very, very cool paradigm. I recommend you read this. Even if you're not using Unity, there's reactive extensions for any language. Like there's reactive extensions for I'm sure Rust RX is a thing. Yep, and I used it before for my own engine project. There's definitely got to be C++ for reactive extensions. There's JSX, JSRX. Like anything in the language, there's probably a reactive extension implementation for it. So definitely recommend it. And it's helpful for like modeling certain things like MVVM models or MVC or whatnot. With iring at all, I've been considering mass ePOL replacement in my libraries. What's iring? I'm ignorant of this. Also, Milanesa, why did it delete? Yo, I love your keyboard. Thank you, Milanesa. Let me just stop Nightbot from banning you guys. Modern name at CRT. There you go. And let me go on Nightbot real quick because I'm actually kind of annoyed at its moderation right now. It's doing things to people that don't deserve it. Why are you hurting good people? Or at the very least, because I can't be sure you're good people, but at the very least, not bad people. We can start there. You're not abusing commands. Okay, where's this moderation? Where is this chat moderation? 1 second. Let me just fix this real quick. Please, can you... Why are you doing this to me? Okay, here we go. Yeah, it doesn't like... Okay, it's okay. Links, blacklist words and phrases, excessive caps, nope. Excessive emotes, no. Excessive symbols, no, it's fine. Links, can be sketch, but I also like, I don't know. I might request links from people, so we'll keep it off for now. And then I guess there's blacklist words, which I think it should only ban no words, if I'm correct. So I think we're fine with that. I think they should be fine. Okay, are you people can you speak again? Do you have a mouth? I know in the Discord I made a joke about I made a whole joke about having just anyone who comments be banned, but that was a meme. That was a joke. I didn't mean for that to happen. Nightbot, don't do this to me. Yeah, I don't like how this is working. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Okay, let's open up Writer. Let's start doing some coding, shall we? And I think the simplest thing would be the code consolidation for our our CRT effect, because I believe we have this post-processing and then we have the volumetric. Yeah. Did I open up multiple instances of Writer? You don't have the singleton enforcement or single instance. enforcement. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me, man. Just no, just be better. Lowering is a newer event-driven async mechanism, essentially epoll, but instead of constant syscalls to proc and read events, there is a ring buffer in user space, and you can read and write events to and fro. Oh, interesting, dude. I should read. Is there any like a paper or something about this? I'd like to read more about this. There's some reading I need to catch up on too. I need to look at this whole actor model thing. There's apparently this new actor model that's very efficient and performant and bug resistant to my understanding. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I should probably use that for application logic. Yeah, we're gonna clean things up a little bit, little by little. So we have this class here, and I'm assuming that I would desire to merge this entirely with this post-process renderer, which has like nothing in it. I think that might be the ideal. So this might be as simple as just chucking everything in there, and then the shader that we're passing things into, we just make them be merged. Honestly, we can just start with the shader because that's fundamentally what's gonna fix the issue here. But yeah, we're gonna do the volumetric shader another time. Right now, that's a dream that we started and then didn't finish, but we'll get back to it. We will get back to this. It'll be fantastic, and then all the debug code there, of course. Let's also find the camera pipeline shader, and this is what we're gonna be merging with. Yeah, that's likely what we're gonna be merging with. CRT transition. So we just need to add like a fog method here for compositing, and then the final composite. But epoll is so common and performant, many people haven't switched nor really need to. Yeah, there is that whole cost benefit analysis that goes on with refactors. A skill that I critically lacked oftentimes in my personal projects. Professionally, I like to think I'm a bit better at making those decisions in a more accurate and I don't know, in a more bring value to shareholders manner. But we shall see, man. And then let's see where this method's implemented, because I might just throw this in here. I already have a massive, like, this is gonna be my my big old screen space effects class where I'm just gonna have functions that do different things. Yeah, I'm just gonna have like a globber, an Uber shader. Let's do the thing where we just make it look very distinct. Just like at a glance, I can figure out where the specific logic for a specific thing is. CRT, quote unquote. Hopefully the keyboard isn't too loud. I've done some different changes to my mic processing, so hopefully it's not. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. Some people prefer the other keyboard, the ErgoDox split keyboard, but we're just gonna figure out what. I mean, actually, it's not about figuring out. I just enjoy swapping keyboards from time to time, but there's always different ways of going about things. Close enough. It's off-centered. Don't be mad at me, guys.
It's gonna be off-centered. We're just gonna have to live with it. What do we have here? Main text. Okay. But we're not using that. Ooh, this has some dependencies, don't you? Ooh, yeah, you do. Oh, that's tragic. And do I use these dependencies anywhere here? Nope, these are all just... Okay. We're just gonna have to do something about this. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Yeah, it's original IBM. It's original from 1985. I like Vim and use emotions, just mostly use HJKL. Yeah, HJKL is fun though. It's fun, man. I miss the 90s vibe. I'm glad, man. What language is C#? Love retro. Thank you, Stanislaw. He sacrificed his first child for the Vim shortcuts. It wasn't that bad. Okay, it wasn't that bad. There was a week where I just was so confused and perplexed. But you know, after that week or two, you start learning to dodge. You start learning to. Life finds a way. You know what I'm saying? Life finds a way. Yeah, we're gonna need this fog ignore in my depth. I'm gonna need to change these names too, dude. Terrible. Terrible. And what is the logic are you doing here for this? A lot of logic I'm seeing here for this volume thing, for this fog thing. Which, by the way, that was a dumb decision. Maybe not a dumb decision. It's a great decision if I actually implement the volumetric fog. It's a terrible decision if I end up not doing that. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out by launch day whether or not this was worth it or not. It's okay. And no. See, with this, I'm not encouraged to go fast with this keyboard. With the split key, I'm able to be super, kind of crackhead fast, Sonic the Hedgehog fast. I'm not afforded that though. With this, so I have to be kind of more deliberate. I have to be slow and methodical. Very pensive. Don't need this. I already have main color here. We're just doing some compositing. Do I not have fog distance? As a field, I believe I did. Fog ignore, main text. Oh, it's because it's part of this. It's assuming I have these shaders here. Yeah, that's no bueno. That is no bueno. Okay, we're just gonna see if this gives me problems when I go into this main pipeline and call the fog function. Expects main color and I.UV. Okay, and I'm seeing no compilation errors here. It has camera pipeline. It needs some other things though, which is tragic. So it needs shaders, math, and my light model functions, which are used here. Okay, and let's just see if the game, if you hate me, why are you mad at me? I'm stimming so hard right now. What? Sweet, dude. I just got jump scared by that line. I just turned around and I just read that. Oh, dude, sounds like binaural. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I've been wanting to hack together a 90s vibe laptop. Can't believe no one makes retro vibe laptops. Yeah, you can do that though. Like I found a couple, and I legitimately have this nice HP Omen gaming laptop, and it's very ultra thin. It's like top of the line hardware. And I've been seriously considering, like, just debating. I was like, I know I spent so much on this laptop just so I can do my work on the go. However, what if I just gut the shell and all the peripherals and chuck that bad boy into an old... I found this old HP chunky laptops with a swivel top that's running Windows 7. Got it for like $2 at a vintage festival. There's another one happening tomorrow this weekend, so I might stop by there. But I'm seriously like, I know zero about hardware, but maybe we just go ultra stupid and just like make the biggest sleeper build ever. Is the game out? No, it's not. We're still working on it. If you didn't like death, everyone has face at a certain mode. I'm back in 2007. Welcome back to 2007, man. It was a great time. Very early version of it is on Newgrounds along with his other work. Oh yeah. Oh no, Crimson Crown isn't on Newgrounds. That's not. But I have other work on there. Old Money Neo from Fate Matrix. I have Win XP. Are you using an old Commodore keyboard? No, I'm using an IBM, but it's an OG one. I'm glad you guys dig it. Do you have a 9-to-5? I do have a 95. I very much enjoy my 9-to-5 job. I think I mentioned it before, but if I get like, let's say this game sells $1 bajillion, I may very well still keep my day job, just because I'm like, I like not having games be the main monetary thing that's going on for me. I like that it's purely just a for fun thing that I do. Yeah, this is broken, but it's broken in a pretty cool way, I gotta say. Yeah, depth map looks super cool. Well, it's not just a depth map. It's like some weird compositing thing that's going on here. That's pretty sick, though. But yeah, and I do enjoy my day job. Though I do think sometimes, like when I'm driving or something, like, what if I could just like, if my day job was this, how would that look like? If I was just let's say streamer. Ooh, that's a bad word. Oh, I'm stuck in here. That's not good. How'd that look like? How'd I feel? It'll be kind of weird because now I'd have all this time that I can spend not programming. Like, oh my goodness, dude, I can have like human relationships. That's weird. And that's what? Usually I'm just like, it's not that I don't like women. It's just that I know I'm going to have to allocate time that I could be just using Vim, doing coding. Like if I get a girlfriend, or a wife eventually, they're going to expect to spend time with me at some point, during the month, maybe even the year, who knows? Oh man. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do. Either I just don't sleep, or one of these guys has to beat the other. We'll see what happens. Hello, what's up, Oshwin? I was making music on a Cubase DAW. I'm not sure what version it was, but this is very nostalgic. That's sick to hear, man. Yeah, Cubase is. I've been interested in looking at that. There's a specific DAW that I was getting recommended to use. I'm still a big FL head just because my pipeline's already built out with it. Like, I can't escape FL Studio. I have a laptop that's just its only role is to live, so I can have my plugins and VSCs and everything in working order. It's never gonna touch the internet.
It exists purely just to maintain my workspace. But yeah. So there's been some other stuff. Like there's Renoise, or is it Renoise? The open source DOM. It's crazy. Like I have the cheap FL Studio, and then for my work I was given an NFR, a lifetime NFR for Ableton, like the $6,000 or the $7,000 version of it, and I just don't use it. I was like, I don't like you. I don't like this interface. I don't like how any of this works. So I'm sorry, pal. You're cool, but you're not for me. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Oh, this has to be after. I forget. We're using Unity or C# build rules, where it just kind of gets copy and pasted in. And then there's a syntax error at line 161 on which shader? You don't even specify the shader. I see a lot of boo-boos here. Oh, that's for this shader I'm fixing. Yeah, we're gonna fix that shader later. Yeah, we're gonna fix that shader. It's bad. I know. It's fine. Leave it alone. Going like 15 years, 10 years, 15 years. You're watching some game development. The same problem. I got married a while ago, and my wife doesn't accept the idea that I work at night and sleep during the day. that's a whole different thing, dude. Well, here's the hack I do: is I sleep twice. I sleep after work, and then I wake up and I'm like completely disconnected from work, and I can just do my game deving stuff, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up refreshed for work, and so on and so forth. So it's like my sleep is my way of escaping from or like disconnecting or transitioning between contexts. Okay, if I go here, and oh my goodness, this is tragic. The fog is still overdrawing the transition effect. That is not my desire. I did not mean for you to go here. I didn't even know I had the shortcut to do that. Okay, so where does that leave us? Well, first of all, I want to make sure that this... Oh, we need this volumetric component to work, don't you, though? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Oh, and it's probably doing overdrawing because I still have this function to blit the graphics. We're not doing this blitting. It's all going to happen all at once. All at once. Feels illegal. I got subject about coding, bro. I hate coding. Well, I hate coding, man. It's great, dude. Yo, that's sick. Thank you, Dad. C#, yep. Hey, bro, you making games or playing games? Making games. I still have yet to do a stream where I play games. I keep saying I'm gonna do something gaming, but I don't know what to tell you, man. Games are fun, but I find making games way more interesting. It's a weird paradoxical thing. I got into game dev because I liked games, and then I don't play games because I like game dev. It's a very strange state of affairs. Thank you, net segment. What's up, Edward DJG? Okay, we have a wall of black. Splendid. Precisely what I wanted. Let's see where I went wrong. And it's likely to do with this camera pipeline. We pipe the CRT. If I just did this, what would happen? Nothing would change. Nothing would change. Very interesting. Oh. One sec. Is this... Would that affect things? No. No. That would not affect things at all. Because this is all like done from... All this code is useless. Garbage. Yeah, it's just not... This whole thing I implemented is just not necessary anymore. Because, as cool as this was, we don't need a render. We just set things to layers, and we use that for the mask. So we don't even have to worry about that. And there's no... Is there a render texture I have to worry about? I don't believe there's one, but... Fog, ignore depth. What do we do here? Yeah, no. We just use a camera and we create the new render texture there, and yeah, it's fine, dog. It's all gravy, baby. We don't need none of this. We don't need none of that. None of this, nor this. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with this nonsense. I mean, I'm about to break things, but it's okay, dude. Get out of here with that nonsense. Oh yeah, there's quite a lot of things that are gonna be weird. It's okay. It's okay. We're cleaning up right now. We're cleaning things up, and sometimes you just gotta do that. Actually, I'm gonna pick and choose specifically what I want to add to this, though, because there's things that are not relevant, like this camera, because we're not redrawing to this command buffer anymore. We're just doing things. Light shader, not needed. We're not using this instance thing anymore. The debug image, not a thing anymore. Fog ignore, this is a property that we want to keep, so I'm gonna just yoink that and put this in the post process, and life's gonna be good there. We also need this my depth business. That is indeed importante. What's up, Buzzy B? Have you ever tried developing a horror game? There's a lot of questions lately related to horror games. I wonder if it's just due to the fall. No, I haven't. I'm not really interested in doing horror games. I've seen some videos from like Manly Badass Hero, and there's some like there's a wide variety of horror games. So it's not like I dislike the medium, but I don't know. For me, I don't feel quite drawn to it. Yeah, not necessarily my cup of tea. I think I played, like, the closest I played is like Amori. Personally, it played. But making, I think they made one once in middle school. It was kind of like a creepypasta-esque thing. I wish I had that laptop still. I wish I had that laptop. Buffer color. New. Actually, is this use at all? That's for the instance. Yeah, that's for that. That's for the fog ignore property. Yeah, and that's for the camera. Sick. So I can just yoink this. Chuck it into post process on awake. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. An empty awake method. Waiting just for little old me. And then I can do and we have camera set there, and then we have to have another field for depth of camera. Which I believe you're set, right? Depth of camera, you're assigned. Yeah, so we don't even need to serialize you. We can just keep you hidden away, tucked away silently. Beautiful. And we end up with an empty class that we can just delete. So let's just do that, dude. Let's just do the thing. Let's just do the thing, man. Okay, I did something. Cozy light system, there we go. And where do you exist? RM, RF. Volumetric, not shader, light shader.cs, yes, and cs.meta. We don't need you anymore. And then I believe there's like a volumetric render component, but that's not a thing. I think I got rid of that already too. Fog ignore, fog. Yeah, I don't think that's still there, so. Cool. Let me catch up in chat. My bad, guys.
making a store in your game? Probably. I've been thinking about that actually specifically. And so it takes me back to simpler times, right, man? That's all I said, man. I'm just saying, I feel like life was, for some reason, life was just magically better before we had. It feels, people say that correlation isn't causation. That, you know, the correlation between the sales of ice cream in summer and shark attacks are not cause or effect or related in any way like that. But I disagree. I say that the buying of the ice cream incentivizes the sharks to come on shore and causes more shark attacks because they know people have ice cream in their bellies, all right? And the same way we're saying there's cause and effect there, I'm going to say there's a equal correlation that is also has a causal effect relationship between 4K or even like LEDs and LCDs and how good the times were. before we had LCDs, things are pretty great, and now it's LCDs and LEDs and OLEDs and the 4K resolution started coming up. Not even 4K resolutions. Let's say even 720p. As soon as 720p, things started to have a little stench around here. Oh man. Yeah, I'm making a game. No shit. It's definitely something I will look into once I understand I can successfully execute stock trading strategies. I just got tired of being broke. I've been blue collar for 6 years and told myself I was fine, I could do it. Nope, not gonna get left behind in this adapting world. I feel the same kind of predicament, but with AI. I'm very much this curmudgeon where I can understand that I'm probably on the spectrum of like, I'm probably way too against it and opposed to using it at all. And it's probably like to the point of like, you know, I probably would be one of those old people who are left behind. But at the same time, it's like, this is not as, for me, I just have bad experiences using it and it doesn't feel fun. Like I don't enjoy programming when I'm using AI. I enjoy coding when I'm just like doing the thing. And if I don't understand it, I just look at the documentation or that's crazy, right? Reading documentations or at worst going to the Stack Overflow pages and all that kind of stuff. No, life definitely was better. Connections were easier, standard expecting were lower. Everyone was less judgmental. Everything is so advanced. People are so complicated. I mean, there's also this weird disattachment, dude. Like, I've been using an FM radio. So I've been on this quest. I have this whole ideology of like phones are terrible and bad for you. And like that phones, we went from owning technology to technology owning us. And like, Mike, I'm on this quest of, 1 second. Also, happy birthday, Max Cuban. Can we get a happy birthday for Max in chat? Happy B-Day. But yeah, I'm on this quest to take this device I have in my hands and break it back into individual things that served one purpose. The reason being is that because this device is so convenient and it has everything in one place, that means I can go to do one thing and get sucked into something else. So I might try to look at my phone just to check the time, but then, oh, I see a notification. Let me go check that out. And all of a sudden I get sucked into that. Or, you know, maybe I go to listen to music, but then, you know, it's YouTube and there's other things that are around and I start getting sucked into this hole of just looking at these other videos and, you know, your time the amount of time you wish to use initially with it gets like extorted from you through psychological tricks, right? So I've been breaking this up into individual devices. Instead of checking the time on my phone, I have a digital watch that's dumb and only does one thing: tell me the dang time. And there's no smart device, there's no Internet of Things. It's just a device that lives on one battery life for 5 years. It doesn't require me to charge it every night. And it's not spying on me. And there's no weird psychological tricks. I get what I want from it, and then I'm done with it. Likewise with music, I have this whole CD player for a purpose. When I have a CD here, I only have a set number of tracks I can listen to.
That's only a set number of decisions I have to make, and I can't get distracted from it. So more and more, I'm breaking my phone into individual components again, and sacrificing convenience, sure, but I feel like I have much more command over my relationship with technology. So that's like one thing. The other thing is that it's kind of weird how we're kind of disconnected from people and just like reality in a certain way. Like using an FM radio to listen to music has been very weirdly grounding to me in a certain way. Where it's like, hey, I can't just get what I want on demand when I want to. There's an actual schedule to things. There's a time when the classical music channel is going to be doing its thing. There's a time when this Ukrainian channel, which I don't know anything about Ukraine, but the music there is kind of a banger. And I just know that between these hours, they're going to be doing their thing. And then after those hours, the FM channel just kind of disappears. And it's like, all right, wow, there's like this grounding that's happening in me. And then, you know, and in passing, you hear like events that are going. Like today, I just went to a concert, a classical music concert. It was Holst, the planets, Jupiter from Holst, and Peter and the Wolf. I wouldn't have heard about this concert going on had I not heard it from the classical music station. So it's very weird how like all of a sudden time becomes much more real just by having this thing here that kind of anchors you. So yeah, there's something very, I feel like there were I mean, it's probably obvious coming from the guy who's using a CRT. The CRT has nothing to do with that ideology. It's just for fun. But like this kind of relationship with technology, I feel like has to change. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday, man. How would you know how to invest at the right time to begin with? Isn't that... Oh, you're talking about the investing stuff. Yeah, that's a whole different thing, dude. You're beyond programming, the most beneficial thing would be math. Like a lot of math. Just get Spotify, man? No, not John Smith. In the past, you work with logic. This is not making sense. It is John Smith. Here's the thing. John Smith, what you're talking about is a trade-off between convenience and like cognitive ownership, right? Most people are fine with making that trade-off because convenience is far more worth than the cognitive ownership. For me, though, I value my relationship with technology. Like, I value the agency I have over my mind. I'm sounding crazy. But here's the thing, like there's so many psychological tricks that happen in a given time when you interact with technology, and so many decisions you have to make, and then you start having decision fatigue, and then you start making bad decisions because you're putting yourself in a space that's affording you all these different decisions you have to make, and that's just kind of a waste. So it's not a dumb thing, at least to me, man. I feel that it's this conscious trade-off I'm making between those two things. And at least personally for me, I'm finding the benefit of it for me. But that's a calculus an individual has to make. For certain people, most people, honestly, convenience is just far more valuable than that. And maybe it's fine. But at least for me, I'm kind of drawing the line because I don't like my relationship with technology as it has been for the past couple of years. Of a cartel guys throwing an old Dominican man into the ocean with an anchor chained to him. That sounds terrible, dude. That sounds terrible. Explain one simple strategy. Go back to dial-up. That's a different thing. That's just an inherently inferior technology. You're not competing. Remember, you're using them. They're helping you. What's helping you? Support and resistance, for example. For this reason, it seems like I'm against the most cracked mathematicians. I mean, you're probably, if you guys are looking at this, there's like this whole, because I'm not qualified to talk about this, right? But there's a whole Veritasum video that talks about this mathematic formula that was very influential and changed how people go about trading and engaging within stock markets. I'm not saying that you're going to implement that because A, it's just describing a high-level idea of that formula, and B, the people who use it successfully are largely either
using modified versions of it, which are tied and hidden behind proprietary stuff. But I think if you're going to be looking at engaging in that area, you probably want to be aware of that. Yeah, it's like something like a video about like how, I think the thumbnail is like something about Newton losing a bunch of money, or at least it starts with that. I have to find it. Or this, I think it's like this equation is worth something quintillion dollars. What they use, I'm using Grubbox. What you're saying is true. Psychology and economics and related, these companies are studying the human being in order to make an ideal consumer. Yeah, and it's you know, it's like I said, it's a personal calculus. Like when I reflected upon my interaction with technology, I realized I didn't like my interaction with it. So this is kind of some of the changes I made. The superiority or inferiority of the technology is irrelevant. What really matters is it makes funny. That's the real thing title. But does it make the noises? Doesn't strategies. It's very complex, and you won't find people who just simply explain it. Instead, 90% of YouTube videos are BS strategies that don't work. Yeah, it's a lot of like slop that's out there. I mean, there's also, yeah. It's just this weird convergence of like different factors and fields that are just aimed at exploiting users from like different ways. Like there's like the legal routes, there's like the psychological routes, there's like dark UX, for example, is a principle. UX is a principle, and then there's dark UX, which is a specifically different principle for getting different things. Also, we have a Discord, guys, and I'm getting stuff there. Ooh, Max M. That's pretty sick, dude. I dig that, man. But yeah, if you'd like to join the Discord, there's a command for that now. That's crazy. I have a command. Yeah, I might have to mute it though. But yeah. On day trading, just human patterns pseudo are on our one-trick ponies, and will always make the same move, same time. Once you can invest, you buck on it. It's on it as a learn. That's very easy to understand. See, when I hear a learn or strategy that's very simple and in relation to trading or money, I'm like, all right, we're not. My alarm bells are just off, dude. Yeah, let me actually find that Veritasium video, because now it's on my mind. I can't like not. Or Veritasium. This equation is worth billions or something. The $1 trillion equation. Yeah, it's for like algorithmic stuff. Algorithmic trading. But here's the thing, like I used to be interested in this kind of stuff, and then I stopped because I realized I'm like most people who are in their 20s or even 30s, like a lot of times the simple, and this is not financial advice, this is just my understanding, is that most people do not beat the S&P, right? The S&P 500. And if you're young, you can just put your money into that and allow it to compound, because the way it's going to grow exponentially with the time you have is going to be far more. A, it's going to be matching the market, and B, it's not like something you have to actively manage. So like there's probably traders who for sure beat the market, but like if you have time on your side, you don't have to stress like that. Like for me, anything else beyond that feels just like, it's just like, yeah, wrong. And I'm very cautious about gambling. Now, if you do a lot of research and you are actually like making informed financial decisions because you know about this company and their moves they're doing and you can respond to, that's a whole different story. But yeah, that's a whole different thing for me.
And again, I'm not an economics man. I'm just a humble old programmer. I'm not even sure how we got here. And we were looking at bugs, and things are not compiling, right? Yeah, things are not compiling. Because why? Oh, because fog ignorer. Oh, this was called something different. It was called fog ignorer, wasn't it? Yeah, we have fog ignorer and fog ignorer buffer. What is that? What is a fog ignorer buffer? You're an empty component. You do nothing. So I have two components that are useless, that do nothing. Okay, cool. Well, I could just get rid of them indiscriminately. Dot meta. And yep. Fog ignore buffer.cs and then cs.meta. No, .meta. Yes. And then what am I doing? I could just use Ranger. Why am I not using Ranger? Like, why am I doing it the dumb way? I keep forgetting I have Ranger, which is my love, but I keep forgetting that I can just use it whenever. Okay. Fog ignore. Yes. Beautiful. And I can just beautiful. That's it's so simple, man. And with that, I think we've reached the end of this mix. I think I'll do some more stuff. You lose money 100%. Yep. Is the hammer. If you see a short candle with a long candle wick at the end of a downward trend, that usually means it's going to shoot upward. But you're... I appreciate it, Toki. If I recall, fog ignore buffer was so that you can touch shader or light source because of fog effect. Yeah. At the time. Yeah, that was for the overpower. Yeah. And we're going to be consolidating that anyways. I'm going to consolidate. That's all within the shader, so we're consolidating it. So we don't need any of that. So we're good. Thank you, Morgan. r/monitor too high. What are you talking about? That's like my eye level. Yeah, it's pretty crazy max heaving. Seeing the old computer come back. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where it's just purely a for fun thing. There's no ideological... My bad, guys. I've turned off the FM radio. I didn't mean to scare you guys. My bad. Yeah, I'm transmitting my CD through that. I meant to open this guy. There we go. And get the next CD in here. Apologies. I'll try not to do that again. Oh, man. It reminds me of TVs when you just get the static, and it's just a jump scare me as a kid when, like, I don't know, the DVD turned off or whatnot. I'm going to put on some more chill music. I was going to put on the fall mix, but we could do a fall mix another time. Yeah, we can do that another time. I don't even know what tracks I have here. I didn't label anything, dude. I'm a freaking fool. I'm a freaking fool. My hubris. Okay, here we go. Okay. Start the next mix. Come on. Go. There we go. There's 20 tracks. Is this the fall? Okay, I guess we're using the fall mix. It was supposed to be another IBM mix, or not IBM, Windows 32 Ambience mix. But I guess we're having fall VGM music in the background here, so... There you go, guys. For your enjoyment.
Is that CRT? You already know it, Dhruv. Can you program for that PC? Yeah, I'm programming right now. That's what we're doing. The PC is actually not old. The PC is a very modern thing. It's just peripherals that are old. Okay, so we consolidated stuff. We have the camera being set. We have this first depth camera, and then we have another depth camera here. That's going to be targeting specifically only objects with the ignore field, I believe. Depth camera, depth mode. Did I not set the component here? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, here we go. And then we do the, yeah. We do that there. The bit shift operator. I've been doing a lot of bit shifting in my code lately. Like even for work, I've been doing a lot of bitwise things. It's always fun to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, everything seems hunky-dory as far as I'm concerned. Let me just... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, guys. As much as I like the IBM keyboard, I actually want to go fast today. I feel like I want to go fast. So I'm gonna just say goodbye for today. Say goodbye to the IBM keyboard, guys. I know, first time in history. First time in streaming history we switch keyboards. But what can I say? I want to go fast. I just want to go fast. So we're bringing this guy back here. And we're going to do good old-fashioned ergodoxing. That way I can even do some sketching, because we need to do some concept stuff too. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I feel back home. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Okay, we can go back here. Get rid of that. The cameras, I think, is necessary. I don't actually think we use it for much, but I don't know, we shall see. Is a must for writing portable Indian safe code. I felt like an idiot when I was implementing some network headers and forgot some compiler store. Oh yeah, that's the thing, right? For like network transmission, they still use big Indian. Meanwhile, like most systems are little Indian. I remember seeing this this funny exchange for like the Linux kernel with Linus, where like someone was doing for ARM 5, I forgot what they were doing, but they're trying to add like multi-Indian support for what they're doing for RISC-V. Yeah, RISC-V, and he's like, wait, are people still doing that? Just don't. Don't do it. It's stupid. It was like a hilarious exchange, man. Oh man. Okay. What are you doing? Working on a game right now. White Orbs. All big Indian, yep. Learning C. What is this? It's just C#. Yeah, C# Unity. The Linux source is hilarious. Yeah, I love the Linux.lore. I remember I was at a wedding. It's the funniest thing, dude. Like, it was a wedding for my boss, but I was just sitting with like a coworker, and it came up in conversation, and I just like, for whatever reason, I had it still on my phone. So as soon as the topic came up, I just like whipped it out and just had it. And like while people are on the dance floor dancing and having a good time and whatnot, me and this guy are just having this big discussion about it. about Indianness and Risk 5 and source. I forgot what was specifically. It was something akin to technology bad and somehow ended up there. It's kind of hilarious. I feel like the people who work with technology the most are the people who hate them. Like, I think when I was like an artist or whatnot, or even work with music, I was far less like anti-technology than I am now. Like, the more I work with code, the more radicalized I become day by day. It's just a thing that's happening slowly but surely, dude. Yeah. Are we still using this? Is it doing that dumb thing where it doesn't recompile? Because I was having that issue with the demo stream yesterday. I'm so used to Unity just recompiling HLSL just as is. But, okay. Hey, it works! It just works. The first time. The fog isn't being overdrawn. That's beautiful. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Nice. And then because there's no checkpoint set, it's not gonna, but now I set the checkpoint, I go back here, I die, we come back. Though I kind of feel like this, I want this to actually further enclose more. So maybe I'm gonna change the, I'm gonna change things a little bit. A little bit. Little bit. But yeah, I think this is fine though. Just to make sure that this is fully encapsulates. But I think that's still pretty good though. That's pretty good, man. Where is the lerp code? The transition code. Camera pipeline. We have your functions here. We go to transition. And we have our oscillation amplitudes. Yep, we have our oscillation offsets. Yep, we have our value. And, ooh, this is not going to be done here, though. Unless we do, like, no, we're not going to do floor. Okay, I'm not going to lie, dude. I like the fall music, but I want ambient today. Today I'm just feeling ambient for whatever reason. That's just the main thing I'm feeling. So we're just going to do that real quick. Be patient with me as I fiddle with this unnamed amount of discs. Be patient with me, man. I'm trying my hardest. I really am. Oh, Cletus. So I put this here. I'm so confused. I need to get a marker ASAP, dude. This is actually terrible. This is actually kind of unacceptable. No. This has gotten to actually unacceptable levels of just confusion. Because I'm not sure what is what now. What have I done? What have I done? I'm just grabbing a disc. Hopefully it's not the same thing I grabbed before. Let's just find out. We're just going to do the rodeo. And it's only one track. Okay, this should be a good one. This should be the ambient track. I'm using Rider. I talked about koala facts for way too long. It happens. Wait, okay. What is too long about koala facts? Dude, what is going on? Chill. Okay, you don't like my hand being near it? Okay, fine. What is going on? Why are you being so upset with me? Okay, we're good now. Okay. Threshold. You know, that's a nitpick. We're gonna do that later. Let's just go to here. All right, consolidation, post-processing, done. I'm just saying, man, if she can't hang with too much koala facts, like, did she deserve you in the first place? Like, let's be real, man. I'm just saying, like, is there such thing as What is your deal, dog? Okay, we're good. I just have to have it rotated a specific way. This is C#. That she did not like the talk, but ended up becoming my wife. Wait. I'm sure that she did not like the talk, but it ended up becoming my wife. So you guys, you have the strategy, guys. If you want to have a wife, just talk about Qualifax for presumably too long, but actually just long enough to get a wife. Full loaded stress test. Said hi. For 7 years. We've been together for 7 years now. That's awesome, Eric. I'm happy for you, man. Yeah, it's just JetBrains Writer. So we have one thing done today. Yay. Now, we have another option. There's this continue shader rewrites for Cozy Light System. That's kind of needed. I think this is going to be pretty simple. And then this one has a lot more implications because it's going to affect how we do a lot. I mean, like significantly, there's going to be quite a few things to consider with this. Probably more than I'm hyping it up to be, but it's still a thing. So yeah, I think we're going to continue with this shader rewrite. So I'd like to test this first by going into our level 1 backup. We're not going to use it, but it has a lot of resources that use the old shaders that need to be updated. So this will be a great way for me to verify that everything works as intended. I would like scene, please. Can I please have scene? I sure would like to have scene. Here we go. Level 1 save. Here we go. And this is the one that uses Unity's old rendering system. The old rendering system that we must change now. And also, I believe the player is gone. I think I added them back. I'm not sure if I saved them though. Oh, he's in there. He's there. So I can actually play this level. And we can take inventory of all the shaders we need to correct. I think it's only 2. There's a triplanar shader and then a object space triplanar shader. Oh my goodness. The fog is insane. How is an artist supposed to work like this? How am I supposed to create? Yeah, the post-process volume with the MCRT app. Okay, so if we're not going to use that, we are using that. If we're going to use the new lighting system, we have to actually configure it here correctly, which means we change the order of magnitude, I believe. So now I should be able to press play and we should actually see the environment. One day we will have a proper camera. Hey, and look at that. Now we have this. But now we see a lot of areas here that are unlit, correct? Like this is not lit even though there's like a sun. Oopsie. Hey. Yeah, this is like a look into memory lane. The old way of doing stuff. You need to do... For the playtest, we for sure need to have like settings set up too. So that's a whole other thing to deal with. Oh yeah, I have like big muscle memory between... I'm gonna have to prototype or play around with like what I consider to be an acceptable balance for this. Okay, so let's start looking at what needs to be updated. I believe I already have one shader that is meant to be fixed for just such occasions. So I believe there's this one, and it is using the custom smart tiles try, and we're making our own version of this called, well, it's not compiled, so let's actually make it compile first. So let's do that.
And I believe it is this one, Cozy Smart Tile, the one with a lot of issues and problems. Yep, a lot of problems. Okay, we can make this happen. We have our blend coefficients for our V2F. We just need to define that here. I should really make a naming convention for this, but we'll deal with that later. You're not going to be set here. Instead, we're going to define which text chord you are. In this case, you're going to be text chord 6, I believe, because we have these predefined ones. Yeah, that's fine. We still have text chord 6 available, which means we can go into here and it's going to be set. We also need this world UV, this guy as well. That's relatively simple. And I believe you're just a float 4. And you'll be text chord 7. And we're happy again. And now we just have to change this fragment parameter to be the fragment parameter we use normally. So let me just go back to the Cozy Light Sprite shader. We're going to go into the fragment. I'm going to yoink its parameter because I cannot be bothered to remember the signature, but it's okay. No, that's for the vert. My bad. I need to go to the fragment. There we go. And using SV target. Cool. And then now we're using. I can do this cool little thing where we make this called in, and then rename this to I, which is more idiomatic of shader. It's more like a shader convention, but it doesn't have to be that. Maybe we can just go here and make this so I can actually see what these blend coefficients are. And then you're not going to be happy because you are still trying to write to a surface, but we're not doing that. We're actually just returning the base albedo here. And that should be acceptable. Maybe I have to make you into a float 4 though. That's fine. And then maybe you have to also account for alpha, so we can do a thing of like, how do we get alpha here? I don't know. Color base, miasma. We can do a thing of like color base. Do you have white? You're a float 3. Okay, you know what? We're not gonna even worry about discards. We're actually, where's the original texture color? Yeah, we have this original texture color. Okay, we'll use this. We have this guy here. We're gonna do texture color dot A is like less than 0.0, some arbitrary cutoff. Just enough to do it. We can discard this fragment. Otherwise, we actually render it. Okay, and I think that should be good enough. We're not going to use a fallback. Get out of here. Okay, no, we'll use the fallback. And I believe the shaders to compile, I should be able to go into here, and I can select this guy here, and then make it be Cozy Light. And it should be Cozy Try. Is it non-Cozy Light? Is it just what did I name it? One second. I'm gonna catch up in chat in a second. Let me just get my bearings here. Is it just called Cozy? Did you not compile? What's wrong here? Why are you mad at me? Oh, there's an error here. Why is there an error? Oh, do we not return? No. Okay, we're gonna take a second. I'm gonna catch up in chat. My bad, guys. Let's see what we got going on here. Is a fake dev, but he does get a lot of unwarranted hate, in my opinion. Maybe he has another take. I don't really concern. Like, the whole pirate stuff was very. This is kind of the I find it gross about me, right? It's very. I can't lie though. Drama is very entertaining. It's very funny to see this kind of stuff going on because I'm not attached to it. I'm far removed from it, so it's entertaining to watch it. But am I gonna allocate time to like dog on this guy? Not really. Am I gonna? And do I want him to be dogged on? I don't really care. Like, I don't want him to be dogged on for that. My bad. But yeah, like the stuff aside, there's people find him entertaining for a reason, right? And I'm sure like even after this whole stuff went down, he still probably has a good amount of viewership. So I really don't got a dog in this race, man. You know, the initial thing was entertaining, though I don't like that I find it entertaining. That's something I want to deal with. But aside from that, I have like there's no ill will or anything. Like, there's people who want him to be like unless he did something like very, very bad, like morally reprehensible, then that'll be a different story, I guess. But even then, like, I don't know, it's very, there's no connection between me and him whatsoever. So I have no opinion one way or not an opinion, but I don't know. I just don't have any mental allocation for that. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, it's a modern rig. We got a nice little GeForce 5060 and a pretty good AMD running here. So I'm not skimping out on hardware. We're just doing the peripherals. I agree. He doesn't seem like a bad dude, and from my perspective, the whole internet flipped on him. Made a mistake in some game. I do, however, wish he was more transparent about his dev progress, since he's kind of scamming investors in his game. Yeah, that's also kind of why I'm very. It's nice that there's a lot of people here as of late. I appreciate you guys hanging out, but right now, as I stand, I'm very wary about ever doing early access, or even having I know Twitch has subscriptions and bits. I don't want to do that for this channel, or at least currently the way I think and the way I'm set up mentally. I don't want to have that at all. I mean, there's just something about having this financial component that just kind of it just changes things. And you know, I know myself as a developer, I know that my ideas for this game can change, and I don't want to have this pressure of like, hey, I accepted money from people to make this thing. I just want it to be, hey, I'm just working on this for my own enjoyment, and you guys get to see the process, and hopefully one day soon you guys get to play it. But I don't want to be coerced or pressured by financial commitments. And it's not wrong for people to expect that from him, or just from anyone who takes their money preemptively for a game. I think that's a fair assessment. I just want to not be in that position. If that makes sense. Yeah, but once you get used to it. Yeah, but coding's great, man. I'm also making a Ludo game for fun. Oh, that's cool. Are you a game dev at your main job as well? No, I'm not adjacent to game dev, actually. I work in a very different field than game dev, but it uses all the same tools as game dev, so yeah. Wait a second. There's a compile error. That's what triggered this whole little thing. That's why I took a little break for a second, because I wanted to inspect parse error, syntax error, unexpected at 167. So what is the error here? I create a float 4. We do alert between miasma, which is a float 4, and this is a float, color base is a float 3. Ooh, that's no bueno. So there's probably a very ambiguous, yeah, this can be ambiguous because I'm trying to swizzle a float 3, but it's probably interpreting as a float 4. No, it's actually returning a float 3. So this is actually fine. So then why is it not expecting things correctly? I mean, I can enforce to make sure that this is swizzling correctly, but it's kind of confusing. It's saying at 167 as well. I converted this surface shader to a unlit shader or vert fragment shader, so I wonder if there's a weird thing I'm missing. Let me also just change the indentation. That's additional properties here. Yeah, we don't need glossiness, metallic. That's not a thing. Maybe color we can keep, but the rest, that's not a factor. We're not using a PBR model for this stuff, so glossiness and metallic, not a concept. These things are still relevant. And then, is my control flow here good? I believe so. So is it issue with the fragment? Possibly. I just can't see it. So let me compare this with the actual shader that works correctly. This guy has... Is it the fallback, maybe? Nope. Actually, there might be something wrong here because this is expecting... Over here, I have 3 brackets. Over here, there's only 2 brackets, which means there's some weird... Something's wrong here with my indentation. Something's critically wrong here, which I think might be a subshader thing. So let's see, we have our properties, and then we have our subshader. Well, first shader, properties, and then we have our subshader. Our tags here. Yep, and then, haha, here we go. That's why everything was indented the way it was, because there's a pass. Haha. Snuck up on me. We found it relatively quickly. And it's a capital P pass. Oh my goodness. No, not ass. Pass. And we're gonna go back down here, and then we're gonna make all the indentation beautiful. Oh. Let's look down here. Yeah. I want to make sure everything's indented correctly. I was like, I know shaders are usually more indented. This feels a little too shallow in depth. And hopefully this corrects everything and we're all hunky-dory. Syntactically it should be fine. I'm just like now making sure that stylistically it's correct so I don't feel confused. Cool. Okay, redefinition issue of this PS1 shader. Okay, which means some underlying thing is reusing this. Let me catch up in chat real quick. I'm back. Welcome back, Stanislaw. Love the idea. What idea? Since when? Are those specific GPU scalar types? I'm unfamiliar with float 3 and float 4. Yeah, those are scalar types in GPUs. It's just a combination of like a bunch of floats. So float 4 is a combination of 4 floats. Float 2 is 2 floats. Very simple. And you can access the value here. Like for example, we're representing a color with a float 4, RGBA. And you can access the individual elements of these structs. For example, this struct here, miasma. You can get the X, Y, X component, the Y component, or the Z component, or the W component. You can do this. So that's how you access it. You can do a cool thing like swizzling. So if you want a float 2 and you have a float 4, you can say, hey, I want these components, and it creates a float 2 from that. Or if you want a WZ component for whatever reason, you're gonna get those, this will be put in there. So very cool. Yeah, and then it's also dependent on API, because like HLSL is defining float 3 and float 2s. In OpenGL, you have vec2s and vec3s, which are essentially the same thing. If I can go into my... Let me go into my game engine real quick. It's cozy. And in shaders... Is it shaders? Or is it assets? We have to go up, actually. Yeah, CD data. Yeah, if I go into, for example, I don't know, lit sprite. This is OpenGL. So now it's not HLSL, this is OpenGL. You're going to see I have a vec2 data type, a vec3 data type, a vec4 data type. This is for texture coordinates, which is why it's a vec2, a vector 3 for the normal, a vec4 for color, and this is the output we're going to be using to draw onto the screen for this fragment shader. And you have all this fun stuff over here. So, yeah, good old... So that changes, but they're essentially representing the same thing. One's describing the data that's stored there, floats. The other one's describing it as a vector. And there's other things like fixed for, which are like a different level of precision, but that's a different thing. Not even a wish list? Yeah, I'm behind on that, Adian. I should probably get on that though. When you started coding, and I am a 3-year college student studying CS, is it worth to get a job in one of the companies? Which companies? Like Fang? What's up, Shanu? You should be good. What is a float 2, 3, 4? It's just a collection of floats. So float 2 only has 2 floats. It has an X value and a Y value. Float 3 has 3 floats. It has an X, Y, and Z. If you're aware of floats, floats are just real numbers with 32 bits of precision. As defined by the IEEE standard. I forgot which one it was, but yeah. So it just describes how many floats you're indexing into. Anywho, we have a little issue here, don't we? Because we have this problem where this PS1 vertex function is being defined multiple times, it seems like. And I'm not sure if it's due to the math library or the CC light model library. Let me look at... One second. Where is... okay, here we go. Yeah, we're not going to do the multi-compute yet. We include things in different orders at different places. So this is done after the V2F. I should really make a define for these, because these are always going to be required in this particular order. So I should probably make a define so I don't have to worry about remembering to use the same correct magic words at the correct place. Ooh, and we have tangent set for text chord 5, don't we? Yeah, we do. Which means this text chord 5 for depth is not correct for this. And why are we even using depth? What are we doing? Do we even need it? I don't think we do. So I can just yoink this from tangent, put it there, and then we have interface ID, which should be good to go. Hey, I'm a 3rd year in game development. Good to see you, Prosto. Glad to hear you're making it through game development. What do I do to be a good programmer? I really like programming. What's your advice, and also what's your job? I work in VR for medical. Performative programmer final boss. Performative. And I said, what language are you using? C# and HLSL for shaders. I never programmed, never learned calculus. Hey dude, I failed calculus, man. I still need honestly, I kind of want to enroll in the college just to take that course again. And and just like get that off me. Like I understand calculus concepts and stuff like that. It's a bad semester for me. But at the same time, skill issue. I want to overcome that skill issue. But I think like at least for computer graphics, linear algebra and matrices are going to be a lot more applicable for what you're doing. Like even for advanced algorithms, it's not always you're dealing with calculus, unless you're doing like neural network stuff or things of that kind of nature. So much to the stream, they do. Which OS, yeah. Here you go. Let's see Nightbot work. Is Nightbot gonna work for me? There we go, Nightbot. I am proud of you, my son. So where's the ordering of this? We're doing shader coding, by the way, just to catch you guys up. Doing some shader code. So I'm trying to repair some old surface shaders because we're using a new lighting model, and all the old stuff has to be hooked up into using that new lighting model instead of using Unity's lighting model. So that's a big thing I'm looking at here. Now I'm referring to the ones that currently do work as a good example for the rest of the shader. We have a bunch of defines, yep. And then a bunch of uniforms, yep. The uniform data is here. I'm hoping that fixes something. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Shader error, redefinition of the PS1 vertex at math. We have this math library, but where's the redefinition happening? We only have two things we're including in here. And it's using Unity Siege and C, which maybe I shouldn't even include that in the shader, but that's not the issue that's causing this. Yeah, this is not the issue. No, it's still the same thing. So I'm assuming within my utilities, we drag in anything external files. Now we have the miasma color, miasma pulse. So very specific shader behavior for this game. I'm not seeing anything from the PS1 thing. Oh, we use math multiple times. Oh, yeah, no. That should fix that issue. Okay. Missing semantics. What are the semantics we're missing for input parameter I? At 137. Yeah, that's this line. What semantics am I missing for this input parameter? Vvert app data. We yoinked the parameters, the signature directly from here. So I don't think that's wrong. So maybe something wrong with... Oh, is it still defining... Is it still saying I'm using a sub? No, I'm using the fragment vertex frag. Okay, we're using the fragment shader. We defined that we're going to be using it. So that can't be the issue. Any issues here as far as... Let's just compare this. Or actually, let me not confuse it with the... Yeah, let's go back here. This is much more chunky. Was there any semantics that we're missing here? World normal. Position text 3, yep. World normal text 4. Yep. Tangent texture 5. Yep. There's nothing there. Luminance is there. Okay, we're gonna have to do something here. What's up, TY blocks? That has already been done. Are they ever going to remove GIL from Python 3, or has that already been done? Okay. I don't even know what GIL is, dude. Looks cool.
Oh man, okay, that must be pretty recent. This is too complex for me. I have 15 years as a web developer. I kind of know what is going on, but very broadly. Yeah, we're doing a lot of shader stuff. Unless you did like WebGL and WASM stuff. Well, not WASM's not as relevant. WebGL is the most relevant thing to what we're doing right now. We're just trying to get we have this. I'm making a new version of this shader that uses, instead of Unity's lighting model, we're using our own lighting model. So I already have I already have a bunch of things that work with it, but this one I need to have working because it's a triplanar shader that's world aligned. So you'll see as I rotate and manipulate this object, the correct texture is applied to it. So like no matter what orientation you are, you're gonna have a grass shader be applied in the top and dirt shaders applied to the back. And if I move it around, the texture offsets are going to be the same. It's a really cool thing with triplanar texture mapping because it's very easy to make things that are, connected to it and still tile seamlessly almost. So it's not as jarring to have like these objects fused together. So see, it's very easy for this to feel continuous even when you're using a bunch of meshes. Terrible topology, but like for a solo developer like me who doesn't want to deal with making new assets, I'd rather make the tools work for me instead of me work for the tool. So yeah, so this works with this Unity lighting model, and we're just kind of coursing a new version of the shader that does the same thing but with our lighting model. Hey, C# devs, yeah, big C# energy. What's the language? Yep. Hey, what's up, the homie Chewy? Andres Barrera. Is that the Andres? I don't see your comment. Where are you? Where'd you go? Like it's an old as me? Yeah. Probably is. Who knows, maybe older. It's a good one though, I enjoy it. I always feel like an animal rescue shelter, like with these CRTs. I'm like, they almost got rid of this guy. There's like the 3 other ones I have here, or 2 other ones besides this one. I want to try using them on stream one day, but one of them uses a coaxial cable, so I have to do a thing to make that happen. What am I missing here? What semantic thing am I missing? It's not with the veto abstract. It said specifically with the fragment shader though. That's what's confusing me. Yeah, with the fragment shader, it's saying there's some semantic that's not right. Also, what's going on here? What is this? Wait a second. My indentation's weird. Why are you weird? We have the uniforms, we define the structure. There's no input. We're not using input. That's no longer a thing. We got rid of that. Input no longer lives. We've slaughtered input. Maybe that was the issue. We have v2f vert, app data v, initialize input. Aha, here's where the weird stuff happens. I didn't indent the internal scope. Oopsie. I feel like there's a better way to do this triplanar method though, and I think something I want to do in the future is implement this triplanar method so it can work with things at a off angle that's not aligned to the axes. That means projecting UVs relative to the surface, to the normal. Yeah, I have some ideas how to do that, but I just need to get this guy working first. And that's not that important. I think it's important. I don't know. I think it's cool to do that. So, have you guys seen Victorian era like waste disposal? When you think about waste management, that euphemism, you never think about, like, you think it's a brutalist architecture,
dirty, dingy. Nothing fancy, that's for sure. But oh, oopsie. If you search up Victorian waste facility, you're gonna get this. What was it? Waste plant, I think, or sewage processing. Yeah, you get this. This is a waste like this is a sewer system, dude. But they said, nah, we're not gonna make it boring. We're gonna flex. We're gonna make this sewage system ornate, beautiful, spectacular, and we're gonna take pride in this thing that is not even usually open to the public. It wasn't, at least during the time, it wasn't like a public thing. It wasn't open to the public. At least I don't think so. I don't know. Now I'm probably spreading misinformation. Either way, though, I feel like this is like kind of an equivalent of that. Of like, hey, I know there's probably no need for this, but I, as a human being, wish to pursue beauty and aesthetics, even when it's not purely functional, and I want to feel alive. So we're gonna do the dang thing. We're gonna implement that dang volumetric lighting shader. We're gonna get this dang triplanar mapping working on non-aligned surfaces, and we're gonna take pride in actually writing something that I think might look good. And if not, at least we tried. We pursued beauty, and that's better than 99% of the world. Or at least it's better than 99% of infrastructure. Let's say that, not the world. 99% of better than utilitarian views where beauty is not factored in as a cost. Because why pursue beauty as a human being? Oh man, reject my embrace monkey. Yeah, return to monkey. What are you building? I'll show you guys. Let's see how this game looks. I mean, it's in a weird state visually, because everything you're seeing here is lit incorrectly because there's no light sources, because it's not using our new lighting thing. But this is something. Let me zoom in more. Yeah, you're not seeing any of the cool 2.5D lighting effects. Oh, how I miss my old testing ground. Also, I do a thing where, like, if you go here into like a depth volume, the camera just pans away so you don't see the clipping out. It just goes, hey, look at this guy, he's drowning. Actually, I should do that, actually. I should animate that, or not animate that, but have a program the camera behavior where on player death, until the player, is replaced, the camera stays where it is, or detaches from the character instead. Just kind of looks at where they are. That would be cool, actually. That'd actually be really sick. Maybe I could just do that right now. Just take a little side tangent. Camera, player, camera, control, and then let's look at the player as well, because I think there's an event the player emits when they die. Yeah, so the depth volume, we press reset the checkpoint, and then publishes transition. We do a bunch of logic here. We set them, and then we do this final thing of unfreezing. But I think we can do much more than that. I think we're going to do a couple things. I think we're going to make this a smaller function because I think it warrants having a small function. One for start. In the middle, we do logic here. Mid reset. One for post end reset. I'm gonna yoink this logic here. and then put mid reset here. And then can I just make this a function? Like, do I even have to make it an anonymous delegate? Can I just... No, I still have to make it an anonymous delegate. Oh wait, can I just... Oh my, beautiful. And then we have... Yeah, let's just do the whole life cycle. Just make this code look even prettier. And then we can do the whole broadcasting business after this. Nice. And finally go here and reset. Beautiful. Precisely what the doctor ordered. And then we can do broadcast stuff so that other things can respond to these changes. Or we can just manually call it. Like, we have the camera, right? Or the player camera controller, whatever it is. How does this work? How does the player camera controller even work? I wrote it. I forgot how it works. So let's see what we got going on here. So while this has control, it's doing something. I can tell you that much. Control update. And we set the mode. Okay, control set mode, yeah. So we change this from direct to... We changed target. Okay, what is going on here? Who are you? This is a different class entirely. It's actually the... Oh my goodness. Camera controller. The original camera controller. Okay. And what do I afford myself with this controller? We can set the mode. What modes exist here? Direct, lerp, static. We're going to change it to static, I believe. And we're going to change the target to be player. Okay, that works for me. Where is player? You're somewhere here. Is owner... You have to exist somewhere. Camera controller. Okay, we're just gonna do this cool classical game dev thing of just making it public and breaking stuff, because honestly, who cares? I'll deal with the cut repercussions later. Camera target is gonna be the same. Set mode, it'll be set to, I don't know. What was options? Lerp. Direct is going to be moving directly to the point. Lerp is going to be slowly moving towards something. Static, I think just static, dude. Yeah, bruh. And then we're going to set the mode to static, and then on update, what's going to happen in update? When it's static, it's going to do nothing. It's going to do nothing. There's lerp follow. There's static setup. That's a whole different thing. Turning on look rotation. It's going to be looking at the target, and it's going to be stuck at the camera target. So we probably want to call this static setup method. Oh, I don't know. Let's just rip it. Just rip it, dude. Just rip it, man. Just let it be. Let it be free. Okay, I'm going to catch up in chat real quick, guys. Sorry for getting a little deep in the weeds here, but what can I say, man? I just get excited. Can you blame a guy for being excited? Okay, we're going to find out if this works or not. All right, let me catch up, guys. My bad. Can you run it?
I'm coding right now in VS Code. Let's go, Nikita. Let's get good. Let's program. Programming's a win. Never tried Unity. It's a good engine. It's a pretty good engine. There's a reason it was popular. But nowhere as quick. Database guy. That's all good. It's amazing we can do with Vim motions. Out of your head, I started a software developer study. Started with Python, CSS, HTML, and Java, but when I wrote my code, I don't really know how to set up or start with the code. Good morning, Kieran. Doing good. I have some holidays, so chill. Let's go, Kieran. Welcome back. This is a question of familiarity. I've written there's a lot of architecture, right? So for you guys, it's like crazy. But I wrote this stuff, so I'm cognizant of what's going on like I have a mental model of what's happening here. So it's not as crazy for me. So it's doing the thing. It's the camera's stopping, but it's stopping a little short. Like it collides and then like it's almost like this collision happens a little too late. But I have a model in my mind of all this stuff. So it's very easy and quick for me to go and do the thing I want to do because I wrote it and this stuff is still in my RAM. Honestly, like instead of exposing this behavior directly, I'd rather have, and is this called an update? Yeah, there's an update method. Beautiful. We're gonna make yet another enum, dude. We're gonna make another enum, because why not? Enum, camera state, gameplay, and death. So gameplay, actively controlled by player. Camera, I'm gonna say camera ascends. Looking at player. So we have this new mode now. That means a new state, camera mode. I don't want this to be a global thing, honestly. Like, or at least you have to, whatever. Oh, it can be confusing. Let's make this within this class. Okay, camera mode. Current mode. And then now we're gonna do this whole switch statement thing, because of course we have to add a pseudo state machine thing to this. Why is this thing? Player.lock. Oh, it's locked. Yeah, we're gonna do a switch now. But yeah, like once you have an understanding of your code base, it becomes a lot more like it's easier for you to make modifications and change things. Versus like if I'm modifying somebody else's code, it's a way longer and more arduous process because I have to build up the structure in my mind of what they did and why they did it, and then I can start thinking through how we're gonna mutate this beast. You get what I'm saying? Camera trigger collider. So like it's a very different thing. When I'm working within the code I wrote, it's like a fish swimming in water, mostly, unless I do really bad, dumb things and architect things in a terrible way. But I would never do that, right? That would never happen to me. Right, guys? Where's this look vector? Why are we missing a look vector here? Ooh. How much? What's the value for this? It's a vector 2. But yeah, it's kind of a thing. No, I don't want to open terminal. Come on.
Add switch cases, thank you. No. Those are the wrong ones because I made a mistake. I'm using camera mode, not camera state, which is totally not confusing, means I need to hide this within the particular class I'm using, because that's totally not going to be confusing for me. Okay, now we're going to have the correct switch cases. Beautiful, and now I can call this function with look vector, and everyone's gonna be happy there. And now I'm gonna have this function, this new function for death. It's gonna probably be shorter, so I'm gonna make it up here. In which case we're gonna change the state, locking, and all that kind of stuff. And the easiest thing is update state, camera state. Cool. And here we're gonna do what was desired for us, which was to was what? Oh yeah, set camera mode. Yeah. Set it to direct, and then we can start moving the camera controller. Actually, do I have a reference to its position? Lock on module, player, transform, camera pivot, camera target. I don't want to move the camera target. I just want to move the camera itself. I believe camera controller is a mono behavior, so that means I could very well just do the following of like transform, yep, dot position, yep, equals vector 3 up times, I don't know, time dot delta time times, I don't know, some kind of speed. I think like 0.2 seems reasonable enough to me. So we make the camera, change the way the camera interacts, and then we start making the camera move up slightly, and that's going to be called every single frame. We should update our state thing here to behave in such a manner. And then lastly, we should just be able to go to all the usages here and change them from directly manipulating this to instead set update state. Oh, that's gross. Okay, but whatever. We're gonna have to deal with that juicy, big enum state. Oh my goodness, we're gonna change that too. That's not great. That's not right. Okay, but whatever. We're gonna rock it and we're gonna just try it out right now. And let me catch up in chat, guys. 1 second. My bad. The quiet part out loud. What did I say? That old TV. How do you not need a mouse? It's crazy interesting. Yeah, I'm using i3 and Vim, and it makes life very easy for not using a mouse. No, this is a writer. Can you code Warcraft 3 Jazzcraft? Oh man. What's up, Ari Studio? What do you mean Studio Dream? This is fantastic. This is the dream, not a fever dream. Vector 3, woo! Not really, Quaternions. Yep, writer, big writer. Not for JS React. No, but they have their own stuff for that. They have their own stuff. Okay, let's jump off a bridge, guys, and we're getting a null reference exception out the box, so let's just see what let's hope that has nothing to do with me. Very tragic. Oh, also, let's update the depth volume. In fact, this water, we're just gonna make it a collider. We're gonna mark it as a depth volume for right now. or tag it as a depth volume. So hopefully this makes more sense. And it needs a collider as well. So we need to add a, I don't know, plane. Is there a plane collider? Is that a thing I can just use? Or no, we're just gonna use a mesh collider because there's a mesh filter on this already. Mesh collider, it's gonna be a trigger. Convex, no. It's trigger, yes. And it's gonna use a quad. And everything's gonna be right in the world. It's gonna be right as rain. And we're just gonna see how this works. But so far, it's not breaking gameplay. Like, it seems to be working largely fine. I just want to see that camera moving thing. Yeah, the camera is static. I don't like that. I don't like that. So we're gonna do something. And I think it's due to a critical flaw in my understanding. But I do believe this is actually quite simple. And the simple thing is, wait. Player death. What is this function? What? Player camera. What? I have no logic here? Where did that logic go? I coded something. Did I not? Guys, am I crazy? I know I coded something here. I did that in a release control. Oh. Okay, that was a little, I was like, am I going crazy? Am I really? No, okay, we're good. We're good. I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to have here. What's the changes I did here? I deleted something. I'm not sure what I deleted. Okay, well, we're not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna assume everything I did is hunky-dory and there's no problems here and life's gonna be great. And I'm not gonna do what I thought I needed to do, but maybe I might have to still do it, but I at least, this is wrong. It shouldn't have worked though. That's the problem. He's saying like it shouldn't have behaved the way it did regardless if there's no code in there. So I feel a little crazy regardless. I feel scared and confused, and that's not what you want to feel in any of this. So just gonna jump. Okay. Okay, so better, but not quite. I'm gonna do the thing I initially thought, and we're just gonna hope that that there's no implications for what I am ignoring right now. So we're all gonna pretend that this is fine. It's all great. We're just not gonna worry about it. Equals. Do I even have a reference to the player transform? I kind of feel like, yeah, we have player. That's a look target, and then our current target is going to be what? It's going to be camera, controller. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Transform. What do you want from me? Camera position. Do I need to give you position? Really? That's not right. Set targets. That feels wrong. That feels, but we're doing it every single frame, so like this actually is fine. Yeah, it's fine. That's not a big deal. and we're moving the camera target position. And then once we resume, we have to set the targets back to what they're supposed to be, which is, I don't know. I'm assuming here we have to do camera target dot position dot. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. We're messing with forces beyond my comprehension, and I wrote this, so this is gonna be a wild time. Let me catch up in chat. Sorry, guys. I feel so neglectful today. I'm sorry. I just want to be productive, but at the same time, I keep being neglectful. Let me catch up. A bunch of methods stacked and called open. I have midterm on Java in 2 days. That sounds like a fun time. But no teacher though, because I I don't even know what to even do for SQL. I deleted it. What are you doing for SQL? Is it for class? Learn commands, try making your own DB, have fun doing it. Yeah, honestly, like a simple thing is like a lamp stack. Just do a lamp stack, do a little MySQL. I mean, I'm not sure if you're doing this, if this is in the context of a class, Skydame, but that's what made me learn. I just did old Apache, a little bit of PHP for a little REST API, and set up a basic. I use PostgreSQL, but it's basically the same stuff, same joint. You just look at the players. We're just looking at the player drowning. Now I kind of want to add like a. I kind of want to add a thing for the player. Like you see him physically drowning there, but that's not going to be the case for everything. It's not. In fact, I want to avoid water being a death hazard, because in a game about cleaning, most people would think of water as like a good thing. Oh, that was jank. So the camera's like below. So we should probably do a few things to avoid that issue, which is have on enter death, we're going to teleport the camera to be on update state. We're going to teleport the camera to be yeah, we're going to do a little switcheroo here for the requested state. And then we're going to do a little something here. We're going to set we're going to have this specifically only be executed once on death. And within here, we're going to do camera controller dot position. We're going to set it relative to the player. Or what are we going to do? We're going to do a Y max. I think we're going to do that. We're going to do. My goodness. Transform dot position equals, and then we have to do this. Probably be a max operation, but in fact we could just do overwrite Y. This feels really redundant, but whatever, we're gonna do it. It's fine. And we're gonna do math max, and you know what, we're gonna store position. We're gonna store this. We're gonna just let's do this. And then we're gonna use the new predefined one, which is gonna be player dot transform dot position dot y plus vector 3 up. I don't know, times 4, 3. That seems fair to me. Oh wait, what am I doing? It's gonna be, it's not a vector, it's just plus. Yeah, +3. So 3 meters above, so whichever is bigger, either the current position of the camera or 3 meters above the player's head. That way, even if you're looking up, it's not gonna be a problem. We're gonna just set the camera to be above wherever the player's hitting. And I'm sure it's gonna be a weird case scenario once we have like death volumes where that's not the case or a worry. But it's fine, we'll deal with things one step at a time. Add some cool GUI. Hey, you did it. Thank you, Python. I'm not sure you're talking about. Do a lamp stack. Yep. A lamp stack? What's the E? But I hate leak code. Don't do leak code, dude. I mean, if you want to learn some algo stuff, sure, but it's practice, like actually using it in the project is way better. Like, sure, you can learn about, I don't know, tree structures for in a leak code problem, but I think you're gonna enjoy it better if you're like, I don't know. There's a difference between having this academic problem that's hypothetical and theoretical, and you have to learn to make a tree data structure versus like, hey, I want to make a game and I want to do collisions, and I realize iterating through every single object is slow, and you know, how can I maybe try to speed that up? Oh, a tree data structure is one way of partitioning colliders and iterating. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not like the like that's definitely not the best structure for doing it, depending on what you're doing. But like, hey, that's a much more practical area of applying it, and it's something that you may find interesting. I'm not sure if you want to do an engine, but that's just an example for something I think is kind of cool. And you know, and then when they ask you about it, you can talk more intelligently about it because it's about an application that you actually care about versus like some theoretical leak code problem that's not really oh yeah, we're supposed to be looking up. Okay, cool. No clipping is happening. I kind of want this to be slower, but it feels way too fast. But I also want death to not be that consequential. Yeah, we need to have this a little more delay though. Definitely need a little more delay. Where is camera control? Yeah, start reset, that's what I was looking for. Okay, freeze, death, heal, complete. How do we set up this full transition? Okay, full transition, override. Do you ever set like a duration for how long this is gonna take? I think we set it to be like, yeah, like half a second. Let's make it a little bit longer. Let's make it like 8. Linux, Nginx, MySQL, PHP. I've never heard of Nginx. Oh, Nginx. Never mind. I've heard of that. I just haven't read it. I was starting with a project is that there are other things you have to learn for doing simple DSA problems. DSA problems. What is that? Did expect it to catch your eye? You'd be surprised what catches my eye. Add Polish as a language support. That'd be cool, actually. I actually been thinking about some different languages I want to add support. I think I mentioned like 2 streams ago. I want to do a localization restructure for this, but all in due time. How you coders know and use code to manipulate game mechanics. No, Jeff, don't apologize. That's not a primitive wording. That's actually a very succinct wording. That's exactly what I'm doing. Well, I guess it's not technically mechanics, but like, who cares? I least of all care about that. Yeah, I want this transition to actually... We're going to modify the shader. We're going to nudge the shader to be more prone to fully occluding than not. Oh no, if we do that though, it's going to be a pain. Okay. Again, we must go into the transition animator. And again, it's going to be a pain. I never feel like I end victoriously with working with this. It just feels like I'm whimpering. That's what it feels like. Play async enumerator. Start transition on start. And transition, complete transition. Okay, here's the whole thing. So we start, invoke, set threshold to 1. And then when the threshold is 1, what is... Okay, this is going to be a thing I have to deal with later. Yeah, I don't want to deal with this now. There's actually practical... Okay, but at least this kind of works better. This at least works better than what we initially intended. And in fact, I'm kind of curious as to how this works in the hub world, but we'll deal with the hub world later. Let's just make this shader work now. That was the initial goal, right? Getting a shader to actually shade. That sounds good. Needs to be lower if you have one. Yeah, right now it's tied to the actual visible thing. I don't know. It might actually need to be higher so you can see the player fall into it. It's lower. The thing is, I want the transition to actually be fully black, at least for a longer amount of time than it currently is. It's probably just a duration length thing, honestly. I'm pretty sure if I set this full transition thing to be like a second, I'm pretty sure it'll occlude the whole screen and then go back. I mean, we're about to find out. Let's test the hypothesis. Apply the scientific method. Usually when you apply the scientific method, it's because you're trying to understand something better about the reality. For me, when I apply a scientific method, it's me trying to understand something about this reality I created. That I at one point knew and then somehow lost. Okay, there's something weird going on here. There's something stupid that I don't want to even dive into. I just do not want to dive into it. But I think there's something becoming more apparent. Like if I make this 2 seconds instead, you have to wait 2 seconds for after dying. How does this work? What goes on here? Okay. Is it getting better? I can't tell if it's getting better. It almost feels like the same exact timing. If I'm gonna be real with you, it feels like the same exact timing. It feels like duration isn't affecting this. Okay, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it right now. I'm not gonna keep digging. We're gonna do the dang shader. We're gonna figure out what's going on here. Life is gonna be good. We're gonna sing Kumbaya. And I'm gonna sleep happily. And it's saying there's still input I missing semantics. And I don't understand why this is missing semantics. What semantics am I missing? What have I done to you, compiler, for you to hate me like this? I played your games. I've done what you wanted. I set the SV target. What more can a gamer do for you? Okay, we're getting a lot. This is getting cramped really quickly. Very, very quickly getting cramped. I didn't even grab the right thing. Okay, we're gonna start closing stuff. We're not dealing with cameras. We're not dealing with these light utilities. We're not dealing with any of this. We're just gonna leave things be. Maybe I'll document that method later, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. What I am worried about is this dang semantics. Let's go up here. Anything wrong with this? We have the multi-compile, that's not relevant. Under tags, opaque, yep. All good there. CG program pragmas, we do it there. Yeah, that's fine. Do we define app data first? Yeah, we define app data first before the struct v2f. Very lovely. Yeah, we end it like a semicolon. Yeah. Alright, guys, I feel stumped, dude. Okay, let me catch up. It's not that I'm stumped, guys. I'm just catching up on chat. That's what I'm doing. I'm not suffering from a skill issue. I'm just catching up on chat. We're just catching up on chat, all right? That's all we're doing. I'm just catching up on chat and totally not stuck on what's going on here. All right, let's catch up. Don't make 2D sprites for a 3D world. I already did it, man. I'm sorry to tell you, Tonio. I already did the wrong thing. Game dev in Ubuntu right now? Yes, we are. So fake alligator, very nice, thank you. Yeah, bro, it's going to for top rank on that. On what? Schemas. Oh yeah, for databases. Hello to you too, KO. You can compile for different architectures and operating systems for a cross-platform game. Yeah. Like you have so many options here, and then even the graphics stuff, like all the HL stuff gets cross-compiled to whatever it's going to be on whatever graphics API it's going to target. So Vulkan is going to be one thing. For Apple, it's going to be using Metal. If you're doing web, it's going to be WebGL. Might take duration 5 for the most part. Is there a lore for the game? Yes. Am I going to share it? No. Does it exist? Probably, in my mind. But I want to wait until things become more concrete. But yeah, Morgan, you basically have the premise. I have operating systems mid-exam. You know what? I mean, hey, like on the one hand, it's kind of bad to be procrastinating, but I did that too. I showed up. I remember I had this class. So trigonometry. It's also happened with operating systems actually when I was in college. I remember specifically for trigonometry, I went to that class twice or 3 times during that semester because I already kind of knew all the stuff for trig, and I also didn't want to do the homework, so I was like, by the time I rolled to midterms, I was like with a D or like an F actually. But I calculated the exact score I needed to get on the midterm exam to go from like an F or D to like a C. And the midterm was on a Friday. And I did some studying and stuff. But then I also had a concert on Thursday night. So like, I studied. I did the study I can during the week. But I was like, nothing's going to stop me from going to that concert Thursday. So went to that concert, had a great time, and then it went back, and then it slept at like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and then I had to get up within an hour or two to catch my bus to go to the exam, which was at like 7 a.m. And I remember waiting in the exam hall, just calculating the exact score I needed to get. I think it was like I needed to get like a 95% to bump up the score. And I was like, all right, we have the target. And I went to the exam room and I was like, I'm going to be the last person to leave. All right. I know I got 20 questions answered within like the first 30 minutes or first hour. But I ended up saying like the 3 hours. Cause like I'm going through each question, I'm doing the math of like I think how confident I am per question, and based off my confidence level, did I get a 95? And it was a funny, like, it kind of felt like a war thing, because as the people who are confident in their scores or just completely gave up left in the first hour. But then as you start getting to the second hour and third hour, people start having a more strong emotional response to their score. Because when you take the exam, you get your score immediately. It shows you on the computer screen once you click finish. So there's people I'm hearing, they click the button and they go, yeah. And then there's people who click it and they're like, fuck. So I'm seeing these people's state get collapsed from like this Heisenberg superposition to like either hell or heaven. And I'm just like in my little computer desk with the polarized filter on it, just stressing it out. But suffice to say, I did get my 95%, or I think a little bit above that, and we passed the semester, being a bummer. And I remember something like that happened with my operating systems class too, but it was an in-person exam. But yeah, hopefully you do well on your exam, dude. I remember those days, and hopefully you make it through. About what? About the lore. Because there's this relationship between mechanics and lore. Like, some people are aesthetic oriented, where they define the aesthetic of the game. And when I say aesthetic, I mean also narrative. And then they do the mechanics from there. And then there's other people who make the mechanics, and then the aesthetics come after. For me, both are equally. There's like this back and forth that happens between the lore and the mechanics for me. So I have ideas, but nothing becomes solidified until it gets made in the game. It's very beautiful. Thank you, Mimic. Working on the game, Joe. I'll show you in a second. What I like and hate about it? I mean, it gave a lot of great information about scheduling and stuff. I think a lot of the scheduling stuff kind of prepped me for more low-level stuff about like pipelining and whatnot. It's weird that it's covered. It's not weird, but it's interesting that it's covered there. Like, the seed of the idea got started there, and then you take computer logic and organization and you start learning about actual instruction sets and implementing like a MIP architecture. And then, like, if you want to go further from there, then you start looking at things like RISC-V and whatnot, and then start learning about how you actually apply a pipe. But that's like different from operating systems. Like, they touch on that briefly, but really they start talking about task or like scheduling and all that kind of stuff, which has been kind of a pain in the butt in terms of my own engine and trying to make it run at a fixed time, since you can't rely on sleep. But that's a different thing. God, 4 times is diabolical. Nah, if you feel confident about it, you can do it. Like, you can say I was a bad student. You can also say that I knew the subject and my choice to not do homework was a calculated decision to better use my time on working on games, or at least trying to make games. It's a value judgment. Who am I to say that? I theoretically missed my exam and my professor was not having it. Instantly failed me. That sucks, dude. That sucks. I went to a large university with lecture halls that are really big, so they were kind of lax with a lot of that stuff. Mario Zelda added a little bit indie theme onto it. Love it. Thank you, Saran. Free to say it's hard to work with in Tiny House, but I'm doing work, dude. Can you turn it up? Oh, for you guys. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, I see a lot of programs that don't increase their program process priority. Yeah, it's a thing. Do you think making your own engine is stubborn, or is it like a skill building necessity? I think doing it is going to be great for you educationally wise, but if you're just doing it just for the education and don't want to actually, like, I feel like if you're making an engine, for like an actual commercial product, or at least for something that's aimed to be something like that, there should be, or if you're making an engine for long-term commitment, there has to be some reason behind why you're doing that. I feel like either a technical reason that drives you to do that because certain engines can't do it, or maybe ideological from my point of view because there's a certain way I want to interact with engines that modern engines don't allow me to do. But for education purposes, like, I think it's still very beneficial for you to start working at that level and start understanding the problem spaces that engines solve for you in different ways. It'll expose you to a whole class of problems that you normally wouldn't be exposed to within, normal game engines. What got you into programming? Making games, man. Yes, around got me, dude. Have you tried Godot? If so, what do you think about it? I tried Godot for a while. I didn't like it, both for some like fundamental engine reasons, and also just for like the user experience for me. It's not an engine for me. I don't like a lot of what it does. It's still cool that I can bring my C# dev kit into there and it largely works. And I had some fun making some stuff in there, but I think for long term, maybe it'll change long term, but there's some fundamental things that's not going to change long term about how it organizes its object structures, components, nodes, and all that stuff that just doesn't jive well with me, as well as like the way you interact with the way you write shaders and stuff for it. But like I have an idea of like an ideal engine that's just not going to ever be fulfilled by any mainstream engine, to my understanding, or to my like I don't think it's ever going to really happen. So that's why I started writing my own engine, because there's a certain way I want to design levels and interact with it that is very much fitted to me, the individual developer, which is not the goal for most commercial engines. And we're still having this issue here. Is it in out? Do I have to define in? Is that the issue? It shouldn't. That would be dumb. Yeah, no way I have to define in for this shader. I don't do it here. And I copied the parameters correctly. Yeah, there's no in thing for that. Is there an in out for the v2f that I construct in the vertex shader though? That might be an issue. App data, no, we return a v2f. That is gnarly. Yeah. That is perplexing. Okay, I probably did just do some Googling, because I'm not sure what semantic I'm missing here for this I. Unless, like, is there anything up here that's weird? Shader. No. Aside from maybe this, but that's dumb if that's the issue. I'd be so mad and that would be so wrong if that was the issue. We define our vertex function, our fragment function, as you do. Just to make sure I'm not crazy, I'm just gonna yoink and put it here. And it's the same thing, so I'm not crazy. Yeah. Anything wrong with the app data definitions, maybe? Oh, we need a tangent. That might be necessary. We also need to calculate the tangent, don't we? Yeah, we do need to do that, don't we? Where do we calculate the tangent? For this v2f. Or do we do that in something else? No, we just do v-tangent, set it directly. Okay. Maybe that was the problem?
I hope. Nope, you're still mad at me. It makes me so sad. How would your ideal engine structure would look like? Like Bevy? No, not like Bevy. How is it going to affect programmer jobs? It's probably going to affect the entry level, fresher jobs. Yeah, it'll be like the place of highest impact. But yeah, as for the ideal engine, it's like very Vim based. Up to your channel name, keep it up. Thank you, Top. That's the goal here. I'm mentally no, man. We're all. Yeah, I think anyone can, man. Do you know who Terry? Of course, I know who Terry Davis. Terry the Terrible. I think that's what he called him. That was one of his pseudonyms or whatnot. Or I think he called himself King Terry too. Yeah, I know Terry. Get out of here, Firefox. I don't want your updates. Your updates are despicable. I mean, not really, but yeah, I can show you the engine. I have like I can pull up the engine, but yeah, like I like the idea of. It's not even really an engine, right? I'm making like some general editor stuff, but it's really more like a framework. And in each game I'm making specifically just for that game with this core base or dev kit or something that is going to form the foundations of how I edit and manipulate objects. But yeah, there's some big dumb stuff that I'm doing that is just for my purpose of just wanting to keep things ultra lean and kind of needlessly perform it. But there's also a thing of like the user experience for me and how I interact with the level editor. I could pull up Sea Lion, but I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. Maybe I should do an editor or engine stream, but I need to get this game done. I keep saying that all the time too. Okay, we're gonna look at another shader to see if I can understand what is going wrong. Or even better, let's just get a shader that I know for a fact Unity is going to be fine with, which is just a simple unlit shader. Create unlit shader. And enlighten me, Unity, what I'm doing so wrong here. Create unlit shader. Shader unlit. Okay, so what do you got going on here? You have your app data, cool. You have your V2F, Unity font chords. We don't use font chords, but I can delete that and this wouldn't have any implications. Like this would still compile perfectly fine. Yeah, so it's not that. Let's go back to get rid of that. Okay. So it's this parameter. It's something to do with this structure, I think. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with this structure. So let me look at what we have going on in Vertex. Oh, we use SV position for Vertex. If I just make this position. Let me get rid of Cozy Sprite. Let me open another shader that I know works. Cozy Surface Shader. How do you work? You have a depth chord here. Why is that? Okay, anyways. Vertex SV, yep. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. In that order, yep. Initialize, transfer depth. We're not doing that though. Maybe I gotta do that actually. have like too many things here? Is that the issue? My V2F is just too bloated. I remember having to do this packing thing of packing multiple data into like a single float 4. So am I just reaching? But no, then it would say like the shader target is wrong. It wouldn't say there's a issue with the semantics. Or maybe it would actually just say that. Maybe it would hurt me like that. Yeah, that's actually probably like I mean, there should be enough shader text chord for that kind of thing, but let's just do this. Let me just do a little simple. And if that's the case, then we're gonna have to do something. We're just gonna have to do something here, man. And it's not gonna be pretty, I can tell you that much. Okay, all compiler errors got away. Okay, not all paths return. Yeah, it goes away. Okay, so I think we might have just too many fields here. Which is not great. Because we need... So we have to think about how we're gonna pack this. Or just change our render target. That actually might be the change the HLSL model or shader model to one that supports much more. Yeah, because where is it? Where is unlit? Yeah, where do you define the keyword for that? Okay, where do you? Let's just Google HLSL shader model. One second, guys. Be right back. Actually, never mind. We're gonna use the bathroom later. Face ID needs a text chord. Oh my goodness. Steph, thank you. If that was actually it, Steph, you just saved me a lot of issues. I mean, changing to that wouldn't be an issue, but yeah, that's it, Steph. Oh my goodness. I'm so dumb, dude. I'm actually so dumb. It was right in front of my face. It's because these comments were in the way, blinding me. It was just a text chord. I was missing a text chord. I was gonna do this whole, like, maybe the shader model's wrong. Maybe I just have too many things in this V2F. No, we just had to, oh my goodness, I'm so mad. Something, oh, and it's gone, oh my, can we, dude. Steph, thank you. Let's just get claps for Steph, guys. Literally, I was like considering every single option except for the dang text chord being not assigned. Big claps, big claps, big claps. Big claps for Steph. Now my cup of coffee, watch someone work while I'm not. Good luck with your game. Thank you, sorry, TV. W Steph, big brain. I know, right? It's something so simple and stupid, dude. And yet, I was blinded. I didn't even consider something. Consider that. And now I can go to this object and I can change its material to be cozy, smart tile tri-texture. And it's gone. And it's gone. It's gone. It disappeared. It's gone. Vamoosed. Did I restore my logic here? I did. And it's gone. Oh, yay. You can see it pop up for a second. This is a whole new level of odd. Let's just see where this is going on in the pipeline. Because we're lerping color base, miasma, and then the alpha of miasma to dictate the color there. Unless, like, there's something logically wrong with how we assign faces, and it's just... But even then, you'd get noise or a mess. So let's just do this. Let's... Okay, nothing there. Interesting. What if I just do... Okay, so it's not with the fragment shader. It has to do with the vertex shader. It has to do with the vertex. That much I can kind of guarantee. Or actually, let's not get rid of that line, because I'm pretty sure I want to make sure we eliminate all variability. Unless, do I have another discard up here? No, there's no discarding that happens there. Okay, so something's going on, critically wrong with this vertex shader. And we must figure it out. We set our tangents. Axis threshold. This stuff is dumb. Welcome, Calvin Hobbies. Oh, what's up, Calvin? Welcome back. Hey, I'm back. Good to see you, man. To mess, yeah. Teach me how to code. When you do a code, yep. Not C#. Yeah, it's kind of what happens, man. You get so stuck on like thinking it's gotta be something much more complicated, but it's just something simple. Sometimes it's just something simple. We have our cozy light vertex. Do we have to set anything else here? We set our toggle for either per pixel or per vertex lighting, which is cool. That's fine. And let's really eliminate the possibility of anything else weird going on here. So let's just instantly return. Yeah, and no, it's still gone. So definitely something weird with the vertex. So I'm thinking it either has to be ordering, because we have a script here that's taking care of all that, which is cozy light vertex, which is going to be triggered depending on the keywords that are enabled. But if we do per pixel lighting, we would assign to V2F luminance, light color, world position, and world normal. So that would for sure be done. However, I wonder if there's something that needs to be assigned here. I can go back to the cozy surface and look at the vertex shader that goes on here. We have this transform, and we assign v.vertex equals, yeah. That's done somewhere down the pipeline, if I'm not mistaken. Like if I go down this PS1, yeah, we actually just assign it here directly. Calvin, what's the difference between virgin olive oil and extra virgin olive oil? Uglier olives, I guess. I don't know, man. Games, keyboard. Are you better than Evil Corp? Which Evil Corp? There's a lot of Evil Corps to choose from. A lot of options nowadays.
Game and game engine. Well, C# you usually see it for scripting. You can write a game engine for with C#. It's just if it's a very performance critical thing, you'd rather use C++. That's kind of surprising how low level stuff you can do it. At least with I think Unity engine C#. Like there is unsafe, but then there's like a whole level of optimizations that are afforded to you through the native compiler and burst compiler and the job system, and then I think that's part of that as well as the AVX stuff that exists, which is pretty sick. I never used it personally though, but I know it's pretty cool. And the CC Lite model, Unity Object World. We don't use world normal for anything though, so that's fine. Zero's luminance. We assign those things. So we still have a responsibility to do this at bare minimum, I believe. That's for a UV assignment. So o.vertex, what happens here? What happens here? We have, and this is for, the correct thing. Position, SV position for V2F. We have output V2F, we initialize that. O tangent equals V tangent. And then we have this PlayStation or PS1 vertex effect that we were assigning directly to here. Oh, we never assign it to. Okay, we have something now. I don't think that's correct though. Yeah, no, that's not correct. That's not correct. So we have to do something else here. Yeah, we have to do the conversion. We have to actually assign, convert from object to clip space. Yep. Using this new assigned vertex. Yep. There we go. And now that's going to be correct. Okay, nice. That's where the bug was. And then we can remove this. And hopefully it should just, yes. Okay, cool. And we have lighting. But do we have a light config? We have our sun here. We have our cozy light. And we're gonna disable it. Yeah, we're not gonna use our directional light right now. Maybe we will. I don't know. But we don't have any shadow settings, so that's gonna not work. We have to recompute the shadows, the cast shadows. What's Morgan's answers? Yeah, Morgan's on point. Thank you, Morgan. I really appreciate it. It's crazy. Like Nightbot, Nightbot. Nightbot helps for sure, but like Morgan? You can't automate Morgan. Morgan's just on it. And cool, it's behaving as we intended. Cool, and then let's actually test this out. I mean, it's weird that this is not doing things. Let me remove. We're not using Unity Light components anymore. This is disabled for whatever reason, which is fine, I guess. We have our cozy light, environment shadow, fog color, and fog enabled. And we also, I would sure like to have a point light just to test things out. Create empty, create cozy light. Yeah, cozy light. And we're gonna make this be a point light, yellow, intensity of like, I don't know, 3, and a radius of like 32. And this should be subject. Nice. You are behaving weird. Why are you behaving this way?
I set you to use per pixel lighting, and that should be correct. But lighting for some reason isn't affecting you. But the point light I have here is affecting everything else correctly. So everything else is being subject to it like the way you'd expect it to. But these dudes aren't getting the hint. So lighting is not working correctly. So, and I think I can guess why. We're not using the light pass. Okay, this is the last part we need, and then we're done. I think I'll call it tonight. But let me just get this. I want the dub ski. I want to win. I just want to win, dude. And then, yeah, here. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to do. And then we call this. Pass final. And now this should be subject to lighting. There we go. Cool. And now our custom light model is actually affecting this environment. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, kind of. Where'd you go? Where did it go? Okay, either way. Here we go. Yeah, I need to expand the radius a bit more. But yeah, you can see it being lit now. Cool. All right, that's like the basics I need to make to start designing a level. So I'm gonna start doing some sketching, concepting, and then I don't think we're gonna have the playtest happen in the Discord this week, but I think we're getting closer. I think you're having some of the critical things we need to have happen. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Precisely what the doctor ordered. Good lighting. Good lighting. Beautiful. And then let me just take a little bit more of a expedition through the level before we, oh my goodness. Oh, this is getting more and more polished though, dude. And the way this is lit is correct actually, because it's all with our lighting model. Sweet. Yeah, the jump is yeah, I almost feel inclined. This one isn't using, but that's because we're not using the right shader on that material. The shader exists, we just have to. Oh, that sucks. If we're back in the hub world. Yeah, buddy. And then we have the door here. And oh my goodness, why is the fog so big here, dude? That's crazy. Oh my goodness, it's like a Silent Hill. This is crazy, dude. Why is the fog so bad? I can say, screw that. I'm going back home. Oh no, I just did it. Okay, we're going this way. I think this is the way. This is the way back to. No, this is something else. When did this happen? When did the fog get broken for this level? Oh well, whatever. Whatever. We'll deal with this later. Nice though. Okay, so I think we have the foundations here. Let me catch up in chat real quick before anything else. And let me also save our progress. And I think I have enough things to start writing up the devlog update for the Discord. So I'll start doing that this weekend or probably tomorrow. What do I have here? I add everything. Good news, everyone. Yeah, very helpful commit messages for myself. Fixed, consolidated, screen shaders, and fixed triplanar. And I think that should be good, dude. All right, guys, how are you guys doing? How are we doing this fine evening, ladies and gentlemen? What am I looking at? We're looking at game debbing. Congratulations. Thank you, Harry. On Windows XP? No, sadly not. Actually, no. The i3 is superior. Using i3 for window management is superior. One thing I'm going to bring up to you guys, either sometime before the stream or next stream, I do intend to start bringing back the stream, a more interactive stream overlay. So you might see our current overlay, how it's like the cam here, cam 1, and then we have the screen, and then you have like my cam 2. So I'm thinking about moving this stuff up, and I want to start adding an interactive like overlay for the stream on the bottom. I think if we're gonna stay vertical, which by the way, guys, if actually I have a question. I'm gonna talk through these ideas. Actually, first of all, I'm gonna catch up in chat. I'm gonna bring these ideas up. I'm gonna ask you a question and make a poll. That sounds like a good agenda. So let me catch up real quick, guys. Looks cool. Thank you. It's a Ergodox. It's very good. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato once said, "Most important things in life is not to have the most, but to need the least. The second most important thing is balling out white guy style." Thank you, Echo Blue. That's a nugget of knowledge, dude. It's going to be horror, I bet, be honest. It's looking horror. I'm trying to not do that. I'm trying to make it, maybe things feel kind of like a horror, but you're kind of restoring things. On Steam, yeah, definitely Steam. Are you getting off? What do you mean? What are you talking about, dude? This guy's hacking. I love computers. Thank you. Yeah, I love old computers too, JS Engine content. But yeah. The building is the excitement. Yeah, it's cool to see the building working. This type of game gave me Fear to Fathom vibes. I never played Fear to Fathom. Maybe I should check it out. There's a lot of games I need to check out. Anyways, so I have an idea for this overlay. And I made an overlay a long time ago, like 5 years ago, half a decade ago. And I've done a bunch of different iterations of interactive overlays, but I've kind of gone simple. But I do intend to go back. But something that is kind of important. Hey, welcome. It's good to see you. I can't see at this resolution, so I can't read your name. I believe it says Dwayne Rock? Dwayne? Oh, Dwayne. No, it's Dwayne Rock. I can't believe we have the People's Champ in the Discord. The People's Champ. One second, I can't ignore the People's Champ, dude. 1 second. And that's stickers. The People's Champ. I can't believe we have him in chat. Anyways, though, back to ideas. I have this old overlay that I stumbled upon. I've done a bunch of different iterations. But I'm thinking about having it on the bottom of the stream, so nothing here gets obscured. But a question I do have for you guys is, do you guys prefer vertical layouts or horizontal layouts? Like, and I envision like we can have something where people show up, like as people chat, they join into here and they can actually control their character within this area. That'd be the goal.
Just something have something that feels cozy and festive for this holiday season, for the Christmas season. My favorite part. But I mean, I think I make it work in either vertical or horizontal. But vertical. Lots of folks wanted horizontal tonight, I noticed. Really? Yeah. So I'm not sure, like, I'm not gonna make drastic changes. And I may still go against the grain, but I'm just curious at this point. So I'm trying to make a poll real quick. Oh, let me end the poll. I never ended it. No, okay, the results ended there. How do you eat hot dogs? No, that's not gonna be the question. What format do you prefer? Horizontal, vertical. I'm gonna keep this in consideration. I'm putting the poll up live right now. I'm gonna keep this in consideration before starting to write or adapt my current overlays for stream. But I'm just curious. You're probably only gonna get views from your subs. That's what I'm thinking too. I haven't done a stream yet that's vertical, so I want to see how I get destroyed. Too distracting. Also, no overlay, Harry. That's actually an interesting thing too. Let's see some hands. Imagine having fun with poll while playing games. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, dude. Yeah, I've been just doing mostly dev stuff, dev streams, but maybe I started exploring and doing some games and stuff. We'll see though. Drop the gun. Let me see some hand. Yeah, that's true, Echo. I think vertical. I kind of like Carrie's point though, because it might be distracting. It's kind of nice that there's nothing in the way of this. Or at the very least, if I decide to add like an interactive portion, I should really make it not too distracting from everything else we have going on here. So, and close out of this. Let's look at what we got done today. Let's go back to do and see, or take inventory of our progress. So this we're looking at right now. We didn't do the item collection thing. We did fix this shader, so that is a win. So we got 2 things on the agenda done. That's like more than usual. Item collection design, we're gonna deal with that later, and then level white boxing. I'm gonna start doing this off stream. I'm gonna have some time to ideate. And it seems most people prefer vertical, but it's kind of by a slim margin. Anyways, guys, I'm pretty happy with this. But yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna keep trucking towards getting this game done, having something done, and eventually we'll be able to work on the engine again. Because I miss my engine. I miss my little baby engine. It just started, and then I had to stop it just to get this game done. And there's one other game at least I need to get done in Unity, but oh, how I miss working on this. Having fun with the low levels. Having peak level design tools. This is what peak looks like, guys. This is what peak looks like. Vimothy motions. I need to make the editor and play cycle more dynamic, but whatever. How does this work actually? If I were to do this, whatever. Yeah, it's broken right now. Oh well. We'll get the async stuff working. Not async, the level update stuff, or fixed update stuff working. Either way, that's not for now. That's a dream. That's a dream for another time. The Dwayne. Oh, Vaughn Henry. Good to see you here, man. Make yourself at home. All right, guys. Looks like Vertical is nearing clutching out. We're gonna try some stuff. All right, we're gonna experiment. We're gonna experiment a little bit and see what happens. And thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate your company during the stream. Maybe not as much done as we wanted to get done, but we got something done at the very least. And I hope you enjoyed and got to relax a little bit and enjoy seeing how the sauce is made. Yo, my dog walk horizontally. Dude, Phil eats corn the long ways. Every time I hear about vertical or horizontal, I just think about that line. Phil eats corn the long ways. He eats hot dogs like a sandwich. You ain't slick. I heard you fart. Did I fart? Or was it just my chair? Solid stuff. Thank you, Yellen. Alright, guys. God, it's like 50-50. It keeps going between vertical and horizontal. Dude, like, this poll keeps going back and forth, man. That's insane. It's actually insane. Is Python coding the best for beginners? I have a lot of opinions. I think, here's what I'm gonna say. Coding is the best for beginners. Just coding. I have opinions about dynamically typed languages. I think they cause pain for large scale for projects, and they kind of remove fundamentals from you. At the same time though, if you never feel those pain points to begin with, you're never gonna appreciate what statically typed languages provide. So like, I used to be more, I was thinking about that today. I was like, would I appreciate statically typed languages had I not used GameMaker language first? Probably not to the degree I do now. So I think coding is the best place to start. And then you'll develop your own understanding of what's good and bad and start forming your own personal ideology about what constitutes good programming and good programming languages. What's up, Yana? Watching my mobile, vertical is best. Okay, I'll keep it like that, Harry, then. Yeah, I might sprinkle some streams throughout the week in horizontal. We still haven't done it. I've been scared to do it. I'm gonna have to rip the band-aid off and try it. We'll see what happens. It was a game I was working on. We're wrapping down stream though. But do we need to learn it when coders are losing jobs to AI? Yeah, you are, because like what's happening is AI is only getting rid of jobs of like entry level stuff, right? But people who actually have good fundamental knowledge and experience with like large architecture, not even large architecture, just dealing with architecture and understanding the boundaries of communication and managing complexity, like AI is not going to replace that at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, there needs to be someone who's knowledgeable with these things at a deep level. Thank you, it's Nico. I'm glad you dig the setup. Post on a code school here. Greetings. Hey, Martin. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Close this stuff. I don't need this. But yeah, I think we need to start paying more attention to making even simple things good. Oopsie. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing, though. And I need to make cache. Oh, there's a lot to do still, dude. There's cache shadows that need to be done. There's a whole lot of things that need to be done, dude. The more I think about the things to get done in my game, the more I'm like, oh, dude. I mean, I like the process. I like the journey more than the destination. But sometimes it's hard not be overwhelmed with like, refactor cache shadows. And then maybe even add cache shadows for point lights. Either way, guys, I think we're gonna end stream here. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the information, and I hope you enjoyed today's stream. And I'll be catching you guys next time, either tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, probably Monday for sure. And hope you enjoyed. And until next time, stay cozy. Bye-bye, friends.